All right, welcome OMFL to our season 76 OMFL pre-draft show, man. I cannot believe it. It's already season 76. We seem to be blowing through these here recently, but excuse me for being a little tardy on the show here tonight. I've got two very sick little boys. Woke up this morning to one who we found out has the double flu. I don't know how that's even possible, but he has two different strands of flu. And then another little guy who's not feeling so well. So yeah, I had to be dad this afternoon, and things have been super busy, so we're getting a little later start than what we wanted to. But we got lots to run through, so let's catch us up. So we started our pre-draft, pause draft, I should say, yesterday night at 9 o'clock, and we ran through. I want to say 4 or 5 picks last night, but then things, business as they say, picked up this afternoon, and man, we started running through picks. So let's go ahead and cover those really quick for you. We are recording the show. We can't go live just because my podcast, my laptop, I should say, doesn't do live podcast well. It always ends up buffering out about halfway through, and then we end up losing it. So we're not going to go live, but guys can freely call into here. Please mute your mics, though, and you guys can help me. I'm not on Discord. I won't be on Discord till after the draft is over. You have to excuse my cough that hasn't went away for 2 months. But spread the link. Tell them to come in here. Just make sure that they mute themselves. I cannot mute you. That's the downside to using Skype. The upside is it's free. We don't have to keep paying for stuff. So lots of good stuff. Let's hop in here. Let's check it out. And, I got a little connection being lost. Why did I lose my connection? All right, let me re-hook this up. We'll try it again. You got to love technology. So yeah, we ran through a couple of picks last night, and I want to go over them with you. So right outside linebacker, Emerson went to the Detroit Lions. This guy was an absolute stud. You can go and see all of their stats on Twitter for the guys that did post it. That feels a really big need, excuse me, for an aging team that needed to get some playmakers. And man, 00 hit it out of the park with that one. Then shocking to me, a free safety went number 2 overall to the Redskins. They have so many needs. I just didn't see them going free safety, but they took Finzi, free safety, another really good player. I didn't see him as being the number 2 pick, but then again, this feels a need for them. They're just trying to get playmakers at every position they possibly can. The Houston Texans and Massimo went right in. Siller, a really good player for them, be an instant starter from day one, and one of those guys that's going to just wreak havoc on quarterbacks in the AFC as he completely really rebuilds that defense. It really was built around a couple of key players. Excuse me. God, that's going to have to go away before we get rolling in the regular draft. He's really trying to rebuild that, and I think that this is step one, somebody that can be a cornerstone for them. The Raiders went halfback Allison. I didn't really know that they needed a halfback, but man, this guy is a horse. He can do it all. I'm going to do a cough drop here, even though it's not going to help, but I'm going to act like it's going to help. So Allison goes over there. This guy is big and strong. He can run people over with 90 speed. He can run by a few people, but he's just going to be one of those guys you hand the ball in. The old Raiders offense, right? 3 yards in a cloud of dust. That's what they're going to go back to. Lots of playmakers here. The Cleveland Browns took defensive tackle Rodgers. Another guy. Why am I losing connection? That doesn't even make sense. This is going to drive me insane if this continues to happen tonight. That feels a need for them. Again, a young defense. He's got the edge players. He just needed somebody that can come in and fill that void right there in the center. And he ended up doing it. That one of the better defensive tackles. It'd be surprising to see a couple other guys that were rated a little bit higher than him. Let's see what their ratings look like, but this guy's a player. Right end Spillman went to the Cardinals. A really good player for them as they really completely rebuild that defense, really and truly. I mean, they need a lot of playmakers, and they're trying to redo that with Spillman. Then the run on middle linebackers takes off. I think we get 1, 2, 3, and then there was some more that went on late, but 3 of the next 4 picks ended up being middle linebackers. The league has rated that middle linebacker depth. It's all gone now. If you needed a middle linebacker, you should have traded up because they're not there anymore. Welker goes to the Colts. Wide receiver Keesley goes to the Seahawks. A very good wide receiver. Semi-comparable to the guy that Outlaw got last year. Not as tall, not quite as quick and fast, but still a really good player. Those Seahawks will find a way to use this guy to the core of his ability. Then two more middle linebackers went. Jensen went to the Chiefs. Mays went to the Bengals. Again, those Bengals are starting to get some key core players. They had a little bit of an older defense, but they're starting to rebuild that now. I really like with the Chiefs. We know he can play good defense. We know he can draft well. He was crying about a strong safety and begging people to give him tips, and then draft some middle linebackers. So it didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Left outside linebacker Doyle went to the Panthers, and man, these two guys here, both Doyle and Wadsworth, that went to the Bucks. These guys are studs. They can play. They can fly to the ball. And it is just amazing how quickly these two are going to turn those two defenses around. And it doesn't bode well for the Falcons or the Saints, who are trying to make themselves keep up with the Falcons, I should say, because that guy's just winning left and right. Left outside linebacker Spence went to the Bears. He continues to rebuild that defense. And really and truly, just that team in general. I mean, this is going to be another really good playmaker for him. The Jaguars go quarterback. I didn't know that was a need. Delapoya, something like that. I'm terrible at names. I didn't love him. Big arm. He's going to need work with the accuracy, though. We'll see how this guy works out. We're really adjusting the sliders. This is going to be a guy that's going to struggle for at least 3/4 of the season. Cornerback Ginn goes to the Panthers. They're racking up on those defensive playmakers to slow down the Atlanta Falcons offense, and they're going to need all the tools that they can get their hands on. Fisher, left guard, goes to the San Francisco 49ers, and they have really rebuilt this offensive line in just one offseason. It really was like the last piece that this team needed to get over the hump. The 49ers are going to be a scary team. The Saints took center Loeffler. I needed a center. I went after a center that the 49ers signed. I actually bid more money on the guy, but he went to the San Francisco 49ers over me, so that forced me to go with the best center in the draft. This was the best guy that I could find. A decent player, not a stud, but he'll fill that hole pretty nicely for at least a little while. Then another run on linebackers. Middle linebacker Cole goes to the Jets. Vales, right tackle, goes to the Panthers. Sullivan, halfback, goes to the Giants. Marat, right end, goes to the Patriots. I don't know anything about these last four guys. I haven't really got to look at my list and mark them off. But clearly you can see that these teams are going defense. Because this draft has felt so defensive heavy, I think you're going to see some really good offensive players excuse me, fall in this draft. And you're going to find some teams find really great value in that third and fourth round range. And that's when you're going to start to see a lot of guys find jewels that fell for whatever reason because of the run on defense. I want to look at my list here and just give you my overall thoughts on the draft. Of course, we started doing these pause drafts a couple of seasons ago, and I was always scared of them just because, look, anything can happen. I don't control the game, and the last thing I was wanting was the game to glitch out, start the draft while we're all at work, skip everybody's pick, and now I've got pitchforks and torches sitting in my house ready to burn me down. So I finally jumped, and we gave it a shot, and it's worked really great. It builds a lot of anticipation for every pick. It allows us to post them on Twitter, something I can't do here because I'm the only one that runs our Twitter. I'm going to do Draft Show and Twitter. And just honestly, it allows us to really give those picks a breakdown. Excuse me. Allow guys to think about what's going to happen down the line, who's picking next, all that fun stuff. So I really have liked it and enjoyed it, and I hope that you guys have also done the same. Looking at my draft board, I think that this draft is pretty solid from top to bottom. I think you're going to see a lot of playmakers come out of this. I don't love the quarterbacks on this, but I do think that you're going to see some pretty nice picks come out of here of some guys that if they sit for a year or two could start late in this Madden draft. If you in Madden 17 career season, whatever, franchise, whatever you're going to call it, I think you're going to see some guys, if you have an older quarterback, an aging guy like 30, 31, maybe 32, you could draft one of these guys, let him sit, give him some work, have a solid backup plan, and you're going to have a really good quarterback by the time we get to season 4, season 5, and a guy that's going to be probably still pretty cheap that you can make a run on. The halfback position really was a disappointment for me. I'm surprised to see two halfbacks go early. I feel like guys are reaching for needs here. I think you're going to see some solid players come out of here. I personally just don't see any halfbacks that are going to push for Rookie of the Year. They're going to push for Player of the Year. Excuse me, like we've seen with the Seahawks this past year. I mean, he really had a guy that just made the run and was just spectacular. I don't know that you'll have that coming out of this draft. I think you're going to have some horses, some just big bully guys that are going to be hard to tackle. It'll be interesting to see what guys think about this halfback class. I don't love it. I think it lacks speed. I think it will be good for the guys who want the bigger running back. Looking at fullback, I think that this is one of the positions that's actually kind of pretty good. I mean, you've got some guys with speed, some pretty good blockers. Fullbacks are just that. I know it's a dying breed. It's something that not a lot of people put a lot of effort and energy into. Somebody's going to pick up a guy here, though, pretty late. It's going to work out just fine for them. And thank you, PlayStation Remote, for crashing on me again. I don't know what's up with this stupid thing, to be totally honest with you. It might be my little connection wire here that keeps losing connections. So when we go to the real draft, I'll swap wires. Looking at receiver, this is another position. Not as much speed as I thought we would see. Just some guys that are going to be in that like 91 to 88 range. Not a lot of height, a lot of small guys. You don't really have the guy that we seen last year that went to the 49ers. I can't even think of his name right now. You're not going to see that 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" guy that's running 94, 95, 96 speed. I don't think you're going to have that come out of this draft, but I think you will have some pretty solid players that are going to come out of here. A couple of guys that I think you can get late in these rounds. They'd be a really solid 3 and 4 that could even sneak up to 2, or who knows? You might get a number 1 guy out of here. The guy that the Seahawks took, I do not think is going to be their number 1. He'll be a really great, solid slot guy for them and a guy that can just go make plays. Tight end was another position that I really had my eye on because there is a little bit of a need there for me, but it was a position that lacked a lot of speed. I would be shocked if you have that 85, 86, 84 speed guy. I think you're going to have a lot of 79, 80, 81 speed guys come out of here. A couple guys that kind of grabbed my attention that I think could be potential great players. I just don't know if we'll ever see that superstar tight end. Those Jimmy Grahams are going to come out of this draft. I just have not seen a draft do that just yet. Offensive line, overall, I was pretty disappointed in. I really was expecting to see some maulers. I think you've got a couple of guys, especially at left tackle, which I think is the weakest of the position. I think you have a couple of guys that have some potential, but none of these guys are going to be plug and play day one. Or if you do plug and play, they're not going to be guys that are like Pro Bowl players plug and play. They're going to need some work. These are not finished products. I think you're going to see a run on right guards here. Sooner or later, there's going to be a run on these offensive linemen. I do think that there are good players here. I just don't know that you're going to get a bunch of guys. And we got 10 minutes before this draft starts, so I'm going to give you about a 5-minute break. Then we'll spend about 5 more minutes. I hear the picks going off in the back here, so guys are running through picks. Let me go ahead and cover 2 of those for you really quick. Strong safety Jude goes to the Tennessee Titans, and wide receiver Lewis goes to the Dallas Cowboys. Massimo, who I think is on, he's around. Dawson's around. I'm not sure if Tavon's around. I know Mo's going to be around. Who knows? By the time we get here, we may be done with round 1, and that's a really good thing. It shaves off probably a good hour of our time here together. Let me go through the rest of these positions, give you my thoughts. I think you've got a lot of good defensive end. Not a lot of like super strong, super fast, can do it all. 3-4-4-3 type of guys. I think you very much are going to have to pick. Am I going 3-4? Do I want the big, strong, sturdy type of defensive end? Or do I want the 4-3 guy, the guy that can get around the edge? Because there is no in between here. You're definitely going to have to pick what kind of guy you're looking for. And if you hone your focus, pick the guy that fits your scheme and the defense that you run, you're going to get a really good player. Defensive tackle is the one I think I'm most disappointed on defense. There are just not many defensive tackles that I like. I felt like last year's draft was exactly the same. Not a lot of really, really good defensive tackles. yeah, you just don't have that playmaker defensive tackle that's going to come out in this draft. I'm surprised to see how many of these guys still go. I think you're going to have a lot of defensive tackles that are going to be left in rounds 5, 6, and 7 of this draft. Linebacker is one of the more intriguing positions, both right and left and middle. You've got strong guys, you've got fast guys, you've got playmakers. I think just about every linebacker that has been drafted so far has been like 84, 85, 86. I think there was an 88 or an 89 speed guy that went to the Buccaneers, and like they're just all over. These guys can run to the ball. They're athletic. There's not many middle linebackers left, but I do think that there's a couple out there that are very intriguing. Some guys that you can plug and play in a 3-4 as a second middle linebacker, or even just let ride the bench for a little bit and be a really solid backup or a potential pass rusher playmaker for you. I really think the left outside linebacker is loaded with potential talent. You're just going to have to be willing to dig a little bit. But if you find the right guys, I think there are a lot of risky picks, but picks that could pay off for you in the long run. Get over to cornerback or DBs, cornerback, free safety, strong safety. I have to be honest that I've never really been impressed with the cornerbacks that come out of these drafts. Madden 16, I thought was a really good Madden for cornerbacks. You've seen a lot of really good cornerbacks come out of those drafts. I don't know that you have those like superstar players that are going to come out of here. I think you got a couple of really good ones, but super top heavy. And then you got like just some dudes that can just run. They're going to have probably in their 60s man in zone coverage, low 70s man in zone, but they'll run 95. And so they'll get drafted. They'll get an opportunity to be a returner and like a dime player or something like that. Guys always draft speed. That's never going to go away. Speed kills, and speed can't be taught. Looking at free safety and strong safety, I thought it was, again, really shocking how Fazee went second overall. But you know what? Again, fills their need. That guy can hit. He can tackle. But I don't absolutely love. I think that there are some risky picks, especially when you get to strong safety. I think you've got some potential there, but some guys that are going to need work. Again, not a lot of finished products are going to come out of the draft. If you're looking for a finished product, you're looking at left outside, right outside, and middle linebacker. You're looking at some defensive ends, right and left defensive end. I think those are where you're going to find guys that you plug and play and just kind of forget about them because they're going to make Pro Bowls from there on out. It'll be interesting to see. And again, wrapping this up with kickers and punters, we've got 5 minutes to the draft, so I'm going to wrap this up. Kickers and punters, again, the punters are much better than the kickers. Just do like I did last year. Pick the best guy and put him wherever you want to put him. I picked a kicker. I moved him out to punter. He worked really great for me. You're just looking for leg power. And if you're looking for leg power in this draft, you're going to want to stay away from the kickers. You want to go punters. I think I'm not letting any cats out of the bag. That's the direction that you want to go. So, there we have it. I heard a couple more picks went in. Let's see. Palmer, left end, goes to the Houston Texans. And we got a little less than 5 minutes here to go before we get started. And that is your pre-draft show for the OMFL. You got another probably 3.5 hours of this. We're going to have Dwayne with us. We're going to have Maniac with us. I know Cincyberg's probably going to hop on because he was unmuted a while ago. We will have an opportunity to ask you to unmute yourself. Dwayne and Maniac will be unmuted and be with me. That way you don't have to listen just to me. And to be honest, I'm going to get hungry and thirsty throughout the night or have to pee. And so I'm going to have to take a little break. But make sure that you stay muted. If I'll have the chat up so I can read the chat when we call for people. Just type in there that you wanna talk. I'll bring you in. I'll ask you to unmute yourself. We'll do interviews. We'll probably start interviews in the third round and just kind of keep those going sporadically throughout the night. We're just going to talk about every pick as they come in. I feel like I was able to really gather a lot of homework this year, and so I think I've got a lot of things to share with you. It's going to be a fun draft. This is what I feel like the OMFL does the very best, and I'm super excited that you're here with me. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in for the pre-draft show. We're going to keep the Skype open. I'm going to mute myself. Going to take a couple-minute break here, get some water in me, gather a few extra things around me, and then we'll get started here. So we'll see you in about 4 minutes. Just going to mute this. We're going to keep the tape rolling, as they say, and we'll see you in just a couple minutes. All right, fellas, we are back right on the dot too. 8 o'clock Central. I'm going to get over here to my PlayStation Network and on my remote play. And we're going to get started. Season 76 draft is going to be underway. Dwayne, I think I did see you join, and I think I did see you get on. So go ahead and make sure you're unmuted so you can talk with me. I know Maniac's supposed to be here.
I'm here, boss.
What's going on, Dwayne? How are you doing tonight, bud?
Man, I have no complaints. D Wizzle. I can only wonder who that is,
You,
Bill.
you guys make sure that you let Mr. Tavon know that he is officially on the clock. His 2 minutes are wrapping up right now. So, man, let me see if I can't catch up the last couple of picks that I've missed since the pre-draft show started. It looks like we've run through a couple of here. Marriott, we covered, went to the Pats. Jude, strong safety, to the Tennessee Titans. Lewis to the Cowboys. Palmer to the Texans. Middle linebacker, another one. Craig Locke went to the Chargers and Dawson. So I'm going to update my draft board. Do you have anything on these guys, or guys posting pictures? What do these fellas look like?
I need to pull them up myself. I got a whole mess full of stuff pulled up on computer and PlayStation right now.
I do too. So that's the way these draft shows work, man. We're going to get it all figured out here in a little bit. So let me update my draft board, and then we can come back and we'll talk about a couple of these guys. I'm really interested in the fact that so many middle linebackers have went. I just didn't think that many need was that large for linebackers.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised myself after looking at the board at the start of the thing, and I just didn't see linebacker being a big need, especially this early for some of these guys. But I mean, I've seen some of these guys, and it looked like some of them were almost they say you have a player pop up on your board that you just you can't pass on even if you don't need him. And some of these guys look like they're taking those guys right now.
Yep, it sure does. I think that again, it happens pretty quickly within a draft where guys just fall in love with speed, and they just start drafting according to speed and according to how their draft boards are laid out. And I think this Lewis kid, Ephraim Lewis, that went. Who did he go to? Oh, he went to the Cowboys.
Dallas.
That's right, Maniac. Where's Maniac? He said he was going to be on the show. He's one of those guys, right? He's a guy that I had on my board as a guy to watch. But man, 4'4", 40. He can run. He can catch. 6'2". I think that would be a nice pick. But he's one of those gems that were kind of hidden. You got to go looking for.
There's Maniac.
What's up, guys?
Maniac, talk about your pick. We were just talking about him just a little bit. One of those jewels where did you not think that he would last till later? Did you think you had to go there, or was it just a need and it just kind of all came together?
Well, my wide receivers are starting to get a little old and stuff. I've got a couple guys that are young and stuff, but they're still needing some development. And Julio Jones, he's kind of coming into the end of his career. And so I started looking for a wideout, and I seen this guy Lewis, and I scouted him and seen that he was rated for the 5th round, but I was like, I know the way guys go and stuff, he's probably going to go like probably top 20 at least, and I won't get a chance at him. And so when I seen all the run on the linebackers and stuff, I'm like, I have to take him here. I can't let him go past. So he's got really good catching ability already, jumping 93, catching traffic 88. So I mean, he's gonna be part of the offense from day one.
Yeah, I think that the run on defensive players is going to cause a lot of really good offensive players to fall here. And man, here we're right at it. This is 2 more picks and we're done with the first round, which is pretty nice to go.
Wow.
Let's cover a couple of picks here. Nash went over right tackle to the Seahawks. Left outside linebacker Swilling went to the Rams. Culliver, cornerback, went to the Minnesota Vikings. Mooney, excuse me, tight end, went over to the Ravens. Let me talk about Mooney real quick since he was the last pick that just went off the board. 6'2" guy. Really great hands. Ran a 4.68, one of the faster 40 times. Did 16 on the bench press. He's not going to be super, super strong, but you know what? He's going to be that playmaker that the Ravens are going to need. And I'm excited to kind of see what's going to happen there. And then Kadu, right tackle, goes over to the Seattle Seahawks. While I look him up, I'll let you guys kind of fill in some air here.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing, pull him up. But Kadu, do you look at Seattle? I don't know much about him personally, but I know Mo really put an emphasis on building his offensive line back up this year. And with the multiple picks, as I've seen people talk about today, that he's had, and he's really addressed a lot of needs to try to make that big jump with his Seahawks even further in the playoffs.
And he really has. He has spent some time, effort, and money on these offensive linemen, and he's invested a lot into them. So I hope that they work out. I don't think this is a super strong draft for offensive line, but it could pay off. He's going to have a super cheap, super young, up and coming offensive line, and that player is going to be a part of that. And then wide receiver Buckley, where did he go? He went over to the Cincinnati Bengals, 6'4" guy, big hands, can run a little bit, ran a 4.59. I think he's probably going to be in that 90 range-ish. 17 on the bench press, so he can pass block. So that's a really good player for that Bengals team. And Cincyberg is really trying to rebuild that team after Huday's retired.
Yeah, I think Cincy Bird just posted him up in the chat. He's got a 87 speed, 89 acceleration. So he's not a burner, but definitely all-around possession guy that I've seen him use Edelman there in the Patriots last year and stuff, and he used him extremely well. So I think this guy's going to be just right up his alley.
It's funny that we're running through these picks. This is the catch-22. We're running through these picks, which is great for us because it means guys are on, they're plugged in. Excuse me, they're wanting to pick, but it makes it really hard to do a draft show because we can't even break these guys. But probably the guy with the best name just went to the Carolina Panthers, Mr. Henry, cornerback, 6 foot, more of a man coverage guy than a zone coverage, a guy that's going to have to work on his press technique. Ran a 4.5 40, did 24 on the bench press. Pretty good for a cornerback. So he's going to be big and strong. If he could just work on that technique, man, that's going to be a good player. And Carolina's really investing into that defense. And I call this the Dwayne Atlanta Falcons effect. Man, that offense is just so powerful in Atlanta. Guys are having to invest into their defense. I've had to go out and sign so many stupid linebackers. It's absolutely crazy. I've got like 50 on my team right now, and it's because the Atlanta Falcons are just so good. The Panthers and the Buccaneers have both picked up really, really good cornerbacks and linebackers in this draft.
The Cardinals are now on the clock.
So left tackle Ash. Where you at, Mr. Ash? There he is, DeAndre Ash, 6'6", and like 6 picks just ran off, man. I'm not going to be able to keep up with that. He did 36 on the bench press, a really strong guy that's going to go over to the Oakland Raiders. Then the Browns followed that up with right guard Spears. This would be so much easier if I didn't have to stream, but you know what? I got to stream. Kerry Spears, 6'2", a real big run blocker and impact guy. He did 38 on the bench press. So your big, strong guys are starting to fly off. Little run on offensive line right now. So you're going to start to see some of these guys go off the board quickly here. I'd love to see these cornerbacks. If you guys see anybody, centers, if anybody posts photos of the other centers that I didn't draft, I'd love to hear about them. Weaver goes over to the Cardinals, 6'4", more of an impact blocker and a pass blocker. He did 34 on the bench press, so a big, strong guy. And that brings us to pick number 39. And I feel like I got to take a breath, man. You guys are blowing through these picks. Sharks fan, it's up to him. You guys help me out. I know that I don't want to call my buddy out. He's been a little perturbed here. I wish that NCAA game would just come out so Ducks would be happy. And, I know that means he would leave our community and that part would suck. But this dude is just full of piss and vinegar right now. I don't know why he's skipping the draft. Maybe he's got other plans. I don't know. That's not normally like Ducks. I know he doesn't love the draft, but to skip your first round pick, I'll just call it. It's kind of lame. Pick your first round pick. If you don't want to do the rest, get off. Do whatever you got to do. But whatever. I just don't understand why that kind of stuff is going in place. But you can see that teams clearly see the very strong portions of this draft, and they're really honing in. And the reason I brought Ducks up was to get to the point. If there are any other skip picks, let me know. I know that Zip is one of them. I'll try to remember these, but they're not always the easiest thing to do whenever I'm going through the draft here.
Well, I don't know if Ducks was throwing up smoke and mirrors or not, but he did post up his linebacker that was drafted, Swilling.
Yeah, he didn't pick it because it was like an instant pick, so I know he didn't pick it.
Okay, so, but it's a Ducks guy. It's 84 speed. I don't see the acceleration on there, but it's pass rush, 3-4 pass rusher, quick development. I don't know if it's 86 acceleration or pass, something to do with the pass to get around the pass protection. But anyway, it's a Ducks guy, 6'4", 252 pounds, and got speed. So he must have set his draft board pretty well then.
Yeah, you got a couple of picks that went off here. Tight end Wade went to the Indianapolis Colts, and quarterback Hartman went over to the Denver Broncos. Hartman was one of those guys that I found intriguing. 6'5", a big arm, a guy that was really good at throwing sharp. He's going to have to work on the rest of his game. And then the tight end that just drafted right before Hartman, Wade, is really intriguing. 6'4", he ran a 4.7, 4.40, so he's not going to be uber fast. But big hands, could catch anything in his vicinity. And he's just going to have that big wing set that quarterbacks really look for, that they want. I've got all kinds of stuff going on here tonight, man. I got the iPad on the LSU basketball game. I got the TV on the Pelicans basketball game. We got the draft going. This is what we do here in the OMFL. So I hope that you guys are enjoying this tonight.
Multitasking.
That's right.
I don't know how much of it is a task, but we definitely have many things going all at one time. So yeah, the Buffalo Bills are running down the clock here, and I'm fine with it because I needed a little bit of a breather. But just kind of looking over the draft board, if you need a quarterback, there's still a couple of options that are left out there. There's probably going to be some guys that are going to take some chances on these halfbacks. Lots of good receivers, I think, that are left. Your offensive line are starting to come off the board. And you were talking about the linebackers with Ducks. There are not a ton of linebackers left, but all of these guys can play. These guys are athletic. They can run. They can fly to the ball. And we see another defensive player come off the board. Hartzell, left in over to the Buffalo Bills. Let me see if I can't get you some information on Mr. Hartzell. Emmanuel Hartzell, who's rated as the number one left in to go here in the second round. It's pretty good. A 6'4" guy, big, powerful, can get off of blocks. Ran a 4.9, 4.40, so I wouldn't be surprised. 34 in the bench press. He's probably going to be, a 3-4 type of fellow there for the Buffalo Bills. Has anybody posted any photos of some players that look really interesting?
Well, they did post up a picture, Shark with Arizona, the center, Max Weaver. It's got some pretty good variables for center. 77 overall, 88 strength. Starting out with 79 run block. And 81 pass block. And look like he's got 86 impact block. So that's not a bad attribute set there for a center to start off.
What are some guys, and you don't have to be specific, but maybe some positions that you think that there's some still really good players out there? Dwayne, you can't be all quiet on us tonight now.
No, I'm doing my own little prepping over here, looking over some stuff.
Well, while you're looking at that, let me cover this last pick that went to the Houston Texans, right? Levatron, 6'4", an impact blocker, pass guy, but pretty overall, really good player. Did 35 on the bench press. I think he'll be a guy that's going to fit really well for that Texans, and you can see they're investing a lot in their defensive line and their offensive line. That's where their time, energies, efforts going in because they have to get young there and they got to get better.
Yeah, I agree with you there. To me personally, I think there's still some good guys on the offensive line still in the draft that can be serviceable, and I believe there's probably another one or two possible guards, maybe a center that's starter worthy. And I think we still have maybe a DN, and safety was pretty strong, I think, as well.
So one of the better defensive tackles, but had a really negative draft report come out, just went off the board for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they try to find their next Warren Sapp. DeAndre Caldwell, 6'2", a big guy, a guy that can clog the middle. He did 30 on the bench press. Somebody that can get off of blocks and get after the quarterback. Ran a 4.9 740. It's amazing a guy that big can run that fast. But he did come out very negative in the draft report. A potential red chipper type of player. But I'm interested to see exactly how he turns out for them with those negative reports coming out during the draft.
You were talking about is it Leverton for the Texans? He just posted a picture of him, man. He's just solid all the way around. 91 strength, 80 run block, 85 pass block, 87 impact block, and 80 excel for pulling them blocks. Man, that's a real solid player to, a lot of people sleep on Massimo, but Massimo, a couple, like especially last Madden, was in competition, playoff run and competition for that division every season, and he's kind of reloading, and I think guys should really be on the watch out for the Texans this season.
Yeah, I think it's really smart, and probably I kind of panicked because I felt the pressure to hurry up and pick, and I probably should have went guard because I felt like those players were a little bit better because I drafted a center last year that I moved to guard, so I could have moved that guy back to center and let one of these guards play. That's a very, very good player for them, and yeah, I mean he picked a winner there. Nate Tureen just went to the Bears, right? So Outlaw got him a defensive end, 6'4", a guy that's really good at tackling and getting off of blocks in front of him. A hard hitter. He did 35 on the bench press and ran a 4.8 140. So if there was a player that was really all around, could kind of do a little bit of everything, that might be a really, really good pick for Outlaw in the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, he just posted up a pic on that last pick that he did. 89 strength, 88 tackle, 82 block shed, 71 overall, but big 4-3 run stopper there. And I don't know what Outlaw runs there in Chicago. I don't know if he's running a 3-4, but he can definitely move him at and leave him at end. I mean, he could play it in a 3-4 or the 4-3. So good pick there for him.
Did it show his speed or any of that?
Speed 77 and acceleration 78. So
a little lower than
what
I thought. The Jaguars took left guard Katu, a reach of a pick. I'm not sure. I'm assuming he didn't make it because the clock ran out on him. So I'm assuming he's not around. Not a good pick. There are much, much better players that are out there. And then free safety Moss went to the Miami Dolphins. Another guy that had negative ratings coming out through this draft process. So another guy I'm interested to see how he turns out. A slower player, 4.5 340, but a guy that's a thumper, a guy that can play good zone coverage. Probably more of a strong safety in the OMFL than the free safety position, but it'd be interesting to see how he really turned out. And then Will Cox goes right behind him, strong safety, over to the San Francisco 49ers. They continue to invest into that young defense. 6'4", ran a 4.4 740, did 16 on the bench press. Good hit power, good pursuit, decent catch, but he's going to have to work on the zone and the man, especially if he's covering tight ends in this league.
Yeah, you talking about both them? Go ahead, Maniac.
No. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying you were talking about both them safeties. Man, I think it goes a long way. I know Moss wasn't quite as fast. He is more of a strong safety, but you guys know that I love to have thumpers in the secondary. And, you're talking about somebody like 49ers meathead who uses that middle linebacker and kind of makes you throw deep. And somebody like him, you throw into him. And, man, he'll just level those receivers when you try to throw it over the middle.
Yeah, Meathead already plays really great defense, and man, he is just gathering playmaker after playmaker after playmaker here. The Packers go halfback Guinness. Kind of surprising, pretty early in the draft for a guy that has the Rookie of the Year from just a couple of seasons ago that came back over with us. A 6-foot guy, ran a 4.55 40. Nice juke, nice carry, nice ball carry vision. Will be a good player for them. Just seems like a high investment for a player that's going to just be a backup.
Yeah, that does seem a little high, but he does have another pick here at 51. So maybe he's got a plan. Maybe he just he's an offensive guy with that running back. Maybe he needed a backup. Well, he went back-to-back running backs. Wow.
He went back-to-back running backs? Oh, we got to talk about this.
Uh-oh.
What is he doing?
I think he did it on purpose.
But what's
the
thought process?
I was saying, you remember last Madden, he got, when he got good, he kind of did the same thing. He went 1 or 2 back-to-back running backs.
I know why he went the second guy. 6 foot, ran a 4.28 40.
That's right.
Duh. Guess we know why he took him. It's just a head scratcher. That's 3 stud running backs. You only got 1 football to get out there. I know he's on. At least he was on a little bit a while ago, so we'll definitely bring him on later on in the draft show, but he's going to have to tell us about that one. I want to go back a pick to Blake, though, the right guard that went to the Jets. That dude is a stud. Very, very good pick for the Jets. I got to be honest, I can't remember who our Jets owner is anymore. We've had so many changes with that poor team, but that's a very, very good pick for them. And then right after that, I think 2 picks right after the Packers threw us for a loop. The Giants went right guard Lane, and that's another really good pick. 6'4", did 33 on the bench press, an impact guy, a guy that's really good in the run. He's going to have to work on his pass blocking skills, but you have a center and a tackle that can kind of protect him a little bit. That's a really good pick for the New York Giants.
All right, I'm going to let you guys talk. I'm fixing to make my pick.
All right, good luck. By the way, Nate, the new Jets owner is Mo too.
That's right, Mo. Yeah.
You're going back to Moss earlier. I know we're going back a few picks, but Moss actually exceeded my expectations on him. He's the one that had the negative reviews. He was 87 speed, 90 acceleration, which is faster really than I thought he would be with this 40 times. 87 hit power. He looks like a solid pick. Hopefully he'll work out well for Kevin.
2 picks here that kind of head scratchers to me. The first one was, I got to find it, Jamal Stroughter. He did have really positive reviews, but he ran a 4.65 40. I think he got faster, quicker guys in the draft that are better at the right outside linebacker or even the left outside linebacker position. I think that's a little bit of a reach. I don't think he does anything spectacularly well. An all-around pretty good linebacker, but somebody I think you can get in the 3rd or 4th round. And then right after that was the free safety Johnson that went over to the Chargers. Now, that's our buddy. He knows I love him. He better come on the draft show if he's got time. But I think that there are better players in this draft. I like Gardner a little bit better than Johnson, but Johnson's 5'11", ran a 4.53 40. He did do 27 in the bench press, but he's not a linebacker. He's not going to be up there pushing offensive linemen around. So, look, the 27 looks great on the bench press, but what can he do in the field? I like Gardner just a little bit better than him. I think that's a risky pick for the Chargers.
Let's hear about it, Maniac. We've seen you pick that running back.
Yeah, I did. I had several on my board, and of course, Priest is kind of blew like half of them out of the water there with back-to-back picks. But this was another guy that I had pegged. I was hoping maybe to pick him up in the 3rd round because all I have is Ezekiel, and I have a couple of young guys, but they're unproven. And Ezekiel went down at the end of the year last year for me and stuff. So I kind of thought needed to update my running back a little bit. Tried to in free agency and wasn't able to land a backup for him and stuff. But this guy, he's got some really good tangibles and stuff for a running back picked this late. or this early. I'm sorry, but he was actually slated for I think 4th round. 92 speed, 90 acceleration, 78 carry, 79 ball carrier vision, 83 juke move. It was a little bit of a reach, but it is a speed back, kind of offsets with Ezekiel. He is a 70 overall, so it is somebody I can work with and hopefully build him up by the 2 seasons from now.
Yeah, a couple of picks as I restart my PlayStation Remote again. A couple of picks that are head scratchers to me. I think Dawson has fallen in love with speed. That Huntley pick is a head scratcher. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me at all. I think that's a terrible pick. You're only in the 2nd round. Like, that's a dude you pick in the 4th and 5th round, and if he works out perfect, and it's probably not going to work out. And then, look, Dux is going to be pissy with me. I hope he's not. Like, this is supposed to be entertainment, and so I'm a little over the top because it is entertainment. What the hell, man? Get rid of your picks, dude, if you're not going to do anything with them. Like, this quarterback is like the worst. He's going to be cut. He's a 2nd round pick for the Rams. It messes up the draft. It messes up his team. Whatever. I'm going to get off of that because I'm going to get on a rampage right here. The left tackle that went to Tavon and his Steelers, that dude is a player. Very, very good player. He got a steal this late in the 2nd round. Some guys passed up on some offensive linemen that shouldn't have. This dude right here can play. And then free safety Gardner went to the Seattle Seahawks as he continues to invest into that defense. Already a pretty quick, fast team, but a team that got old pretty quickly. He took the guy that I was talking about a while ago that I thought Dawson should have took. Gardner ran a 4.5, 140, 5'11", a thumper, a guy that's pretty good in zone coverage, going to need a little work, pretty good in pursuit, going to need a little work, but all around I think a better player than what Dawson had taken just a little earlier. And then he goes defensive tackle Keogh. I don't know, however you want to say that. You say it yourselves. I think that this draft is weak for defensive tackle. This guy is a pretty decent player. He only did 27 on the bench press, so he better play a 4-3 and let this be the pass rushing defensive tackle, because if not, he's going to get this guy blown to pieces, and he's just going to get gashed in the run game.
Yeah, to go back and look at a few picks, these are about 10 picks back. McKnight for the Packers was a good clone, 96 speed, and the other running back he picked was a 79 overall, well-built running back. I know Priest loves the speed with the good. I think Good, whatever his name is, he won MVP or close to it that one year.
And he won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I see him kind of like a clone. The other guy's a better running back all around, but man, guys really love that 96 speed sitting on there on the other running back.
But why? I don't know. We'll get him on. We'll get him to talk about it. There's got to be a reason behind it. There's one football bro. You're only going to sub in a guy for a handful of carries, unless you're moving good. But as far as I know, he didn't move good. I don't pay attention to the trace. Did he move good?
What's that, Nate?
Did he move good?
The 96 speed guy's all right.
No,
that's pretty much
good. The running back. The running back, his Rookie of the Year running back, good. Gode. Did he move him? Did he trade him?
No, he still got him.
It doesn't make sense to me then. I'm really confused by that. The Ravens took Peppers, 6'2", ran a 4.56 40. Again, another player where I felt like there are better players than that, but might have been an auto pick. Sometimes I wonder if these are auto picks when it takes the best available player at a certain position. A guy that is good hitter, pretty good tackler. He's going to need to work on the zone coverage. Definitely going to need to work on the man coverage if he's playing strong safety, because he's going to have to cover those tight ends, and every now and then maybe a receiver or two. So that brings up the clock milker himself, Mr. Chaotic. I'm just kidding. I'm glad he's milking the clock. We need a break. But he takes right guard Burnett. Let me get over to Burnett and give you some information about him.
Yeah, at this point in the draft and stuff, I believe Burnett's going to be a pretty good pick for him. I'm
A
curious
really
to
good
see
pick.
what the
6'3",
tangibles.
a good impact blocker, a good run blocker. Going to need a little bit of work there. Going to need a lot of work from the pass block, but he did do 34 in the bench press, so should be plenty strong enough.
Oh,
Tight
man.
end Allen went right after him. Do you have some information on him? On the guy that for Chaotic?
No, he hasn't posted anything yet.
Tight end Allen went to the Patriots. One of the better left tight ends in this draft. 6'6", one of the bigger guys. Ran a 4.7, 4.40, not super fast. Nice catching, big range, can catch anything that's kind of thrown his way. And then one of the guys with the better names in the draft, wide receiver, Tyrone Ray Wilson. 6'4", one of the guys that I really liked. 6'4", he ran a 4.58 40, so he should be plenty fast enough. B+ catching, B+ spectacular catch, B catching traffic. That just means this dude has a huge wingspan. He's going to catch anything and everything that comes his way. Left guard McGraw went to the Panthers in his first of two back-to-back. 6'3", nice impact and run blocker. Did do 36 on the bench press. He'll be plenty strong enough. And then he continues to invest into the cornerbacks. It's amazing how he's investing into these cornerbacks. Cross, let me see if I can find some information on Cross here. Huh, look at this name, Long Cross. I wonder if he's got a long cross. 6'2", ran a 4.41 40, did 17 on the bench press. More of a man coverage guy than a zone coverage, but all around a pretty good player. He's going to be probably a dime type of player. He's going to need some work, but if the Panthers can stay patient with him, he might have got him a pretty good player there.
Not to break in, but Chaotic just posted on his guard. 87 strength, 82 run block, 77 pass, but 92 impact block. So he's a beast. He'll have him 99 overall by the next two seasons.
He will.
A risky pick, in my opinion. Rodgers, wide receiver, goes over to the Oakland Raiders. A 4.58 40 guy did 20 on the bench press. A big catcher guy. Could catch everything thrown his way. You wonder where that speed will fall. Maybe 90-ish. He should be a pretty good player. I just felt like there might have been a couple of better players for the Oakland Raiders there. And then another middle linebacker goes off the board. They are definitely keeping middle linebackers employed this draft. Let me see if I can find him. Lost the name. Oh, McCain, right? Is that it? No, Hickman. Sorry, I can't read.
Yeah.
Reading was not part of the job description when I took this job. Middle linebacker. Oh, that's because I'm looking at rideouts on linebacker. Ferroton Hickman. 6 foot, a nice thumper. Guy that's going to make you pay when you come through the hole. It's the 4.77 40 that worries me, but he did do 29 on the bench press. Hell, move him to defensive tackle, let him play up front. That's about the only way this guy's going to find some playing time if he gets put at defensive end. But who knows? Who knows what the Washington Redskins have planned for him? And guys, we are already in pick number 6 of the 3rd round. We are flying through these picks. Let's just take a quick pause here. Not pause the draft, but are guys saying that is Skype working for everybody? I got the chat up. It looks like we've got a handful of people. How many people we got in here? Let's see. We got 16. That's a big number for us. I guess it's worry. Yeah, it's good. Everything is working well. The guys are talking. I can't do the draft and do all of this other stuff unless one of my buddies here wants to call out the draft picks as they happen, and then I can just give a rundown. If you guys will do that, I'll keep my eye on the chat, and we can talk about what these guys are talking about. If one of you can take over actually calling out the picks as they happen.
Bengals are now on the clock.
You want the Maniac, or you may take that?
You can go ahead and take it, man. I'm kind of in and out a little bit. Sorry.
All right.
So Hickman was the last pick that I had. What's happened after that?
The Cardinals took quarterback Berger, Berger.
Yeah, Ty Berger, 6'2", Oh, don't do this. Where's that? Okay, here we go. 6'2", a guy with a big arm, pretty good at throwing the ball short. Unfortunately, you can't just throw the ball short here, so he's going to have to work on the rest. He ran a 4.83 40, and he's pretty good at throwing on the run. So maybe a guy that you can move the pocket around a little bit and find some nice lanes for him.
All right, the Colts took left tackle Zatelli.
The Bills are now on the clock.
A really good player. Good pick for the Colts. A+ for me there. Zatelli, 6'6", an impact and pass blocker. He's going to have to work on the run block a little bit, and he did do 32 in the bench press. A very good player, one of the few very, very good tackles that are left in this draft.
And the new look Bengals took cornerback Stitt, Stith, with the 72nd pick.
See if we can find Mr. Stith. Here we go, a guy that I had my eye on. Marvin Stith, 6'1". And if you guys can also let me know if my picks pop up. I don't pick till the 4th round, but just kind of give me a heads up. Hey, you're 3 picks away or whatever. Give me a chance to look over. A guy, Marvin Stith, I think will be really good in man coverage. He's going to have to work on the rest of the game, but he can run a 4.43 40. That kind of guy can start nickel for you, right? Play a lot of man and nickel.
Right.
He can run. He can make some plays for you. Let him go out and do that. Good pick. A guy that I had my eye on, so really good pick for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Waiting
I
on
can
the
give you
Bills.
some tangibles on some of those last picks that were
clock.
posted up. Marvin Stith, 92 speed, 87 acceleration, 71 overall, 86 man coverage. So
Really nice.
big time man coverage. And the Indianapolis Colts, with their offensive lineman pick, he was a quick development guy, 84 strength, 75 pass, looked like 82 block, and 84 impact. So 76 overall, real nice pick there for him.
Is Marvin
Bengals. Bears. Shit, I'm all twisted up. Bills went with quarterback Chandler Kershke.
Oh yeah, Chandler Kershke. I guess that's.
Who came up with these names for Madden?
I have no clue. A lot of Russian players playing in our league all of a sudden. 6'2". Mother Russia. Big arm. A guy that can really throw the ball downfield. Another guy that can move the pocket a little bit. Pretty good at throwing on the run. Runs a 4.8 440. So he's not going to be a burner, but a pretty good overall player. And you said the Bears took him?
No, the Bills.
Oh, the Bills. Okay, so nice pick. They needed to get some youth there. I don't know that Nathan Perriman's going to win you a Super Bowl anytime soon.
Texans went with another offensive lineman, center Calhoun.
Griffin Calhoun. He's a 6-foot guy, a guy that I liked, a risky, like red chipper type of player. Nice impact block, nice run block. He's going to have to work in the pass blocking aspect of his game, and he's going to be plenty strong enough. 33 on the bench press. He should do just fine. Nice pick. Not really a lot of centers left. 1 or 2 guys that are left out there. We'll see. I think that there's still plenty of nice offensive linemen that are left.
All right, the Cardinals picked up the quarterback Berger. I actually had him hoping to possibly pick him up in the 3rd, but he already went. 79 overall, 93 throw power, decent tangibles for the accuracy, 81 short, 77 medium, and 81 deep as well. So.
All right, with the Bengals went with cornerback Morgan for the new look Bengals.
Not a guy that interests me. Let me see here. Margarito Morgan, 5'11", pretty good in zone coverage. Going to struggle in man, but you know why he got drafted? He ran a 4.38 40. He did do 23 on the bench press, so he should be plenty fast and plenty strong enough. Just going to have to work on the rest of the stuff.
Might be somebody to move to safety there.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Well, the picks are flying by now. The Buccaneers with the 76th pick cornerback Colquitt.
Colquitt. Earl E. Colquitt. Okay, give me some more picks. That's not somebody I
All
really
right,
got a lot on.
right guard Tevin Cross going to the Bears.
Very nice player. Let's talk about him for a second. Pretty good draft for the Bears here. Cross, 6'3" guy. Very good impact block. Pretty good run block. Gonna need to work on the pass blocking aspect of his game. Ran a 4.9 740, so got a little quickness there, and did 32 on the bench press. A+ for me. Good job for the Bears there.
The Jaguars selected right tackle Tyrone Neal with the 78th pick.
Tyrone Noel, Noel.
Yes, yeah.
Tyrone
Yes.
Noel. Yeah, not really a
Yes.
guy that impressed me.
Neal.
6'6". Does everything okay, but it's the 28 on the bench press that kind of worries me with him.
Had 2 picks. The Dolphins went with center Porter with the 79th pick, and 49ers went with halfback D. Kirby as the 80th pick of the draft.
You're going to have to help me with that one. We'll come back to it, but let's talk about Porter for a second. You said the Miami Dolphins took him?
Yes.
6'3", very good pick for me. Impact blocker, pass blocker, going to need to work on the run block just a little bit, but overall a really, really good player for them. Take your medicine, Maniac. 30 on the bench press. Really, really good player there. Just an old man joke at Maniac, that's all. And then you said the next one was a halfback?
Yes, sir. Kirby going to the 49ers. Ran a 4.4
The
40
shoots
time.
Kirby. The shits is what I want to ask. I don't understand this pick at all. 5'10", pretty good ball carry guy. Ran a 4.4 40, so I guess that's why you get drafted this early in the draft. Did 19 on the bench press. He should be plenty strong enough.
I just knew that Packers are going to take a running back there.
So after
Packers
Kirby,
go
where'd
with
we
wide
go?
Receiver, Benson to the Packers with 81
Wide
pick.
receiver Benson. Let me see what I can find on Mr. Benson. Actually, a guy that I had marked is a guy to have my eye on. Somebody I really like, Mr. Walker Benson, 5'10", 5'10". Pretty nice, spectacular catch. Pretty nice catching. A guy that can hold on to the ball. But here we go. Here's why the Packers love him. A 4.3 440. There you go. That's pretty much all you need to know about the guy. He did 12 on the bench press, and it means he's about as strong as a 78-year-old lady that can do sit-ups. And I don't know what else. He'll be a slot guy, not anybody that can ever put on the outside. And be prepared. The cheeseheads in Green Bay will have the speed cheese ready for you whenever you come up to the frigid cold Green Bay Packerland.
All right, with the 82nd pick, the Jets pick left tackle Eric Trusnick.
There's still a guy at left tackle. I cannot wait until he is picked. He should be spectacular. Trusnick, where you at? Oh, Mr. Garrett Trusnick. I don't understand this pick. I think there's a better guy that's out there. 6'6", more of a run blocker than anything else. He's going to need to work on everything else, though. Did they do 35 on the pass block? Did you find the player I was talking about? Is that why you're laughing?
No.
Oh.
The Packers just picked another running back.
Did he? That's amazing.
He did.
That
T. Ellis.
Is he around? Like, is he literally making these
He's on the Skyrim. Skyrim. He's on the show.
Somebody
right
take
now.
the bottle away from that man. He is drunk. That man is drunk. Somebody make it stop. Oh, my God. What are you doing, Michael?
Step away from the controller.
Oh, he must be letting his child pick. Daddy, I like the letter H. All right, so after Trusnick, what happened?
It was Ellis, running back, going to the Packers.
Jesus Christ, help him. Hey, OMFL, here's a clue. Look at the Packers practice squad. There'll be plenty of halfbacks to pick from. Was that Shamel Ellison?
It is
the Chiefs are now on the clock.
T. Ellis is what it was. That's
Okay. No, that's not the guy. Oh, Tyrone Ellis. Here we go. I really don't know what the hell he's doing. 6 foot, yeah, pretty good juke block, pretty good run back, good running back. Ran a 4.40, did 19 on the bench press. What the hell is he going to do? Somebody tell this man he can't sell them at Walmart. That's not
He
illegal.
must be going to
cannot
be running the wishbone, I think, in Green Bay. Green Bay.
A lot of wildcat formations will be ran in Green Bay.
With the 84th pick, the Giants go with cornerback Kelly.
The Titans are now on the
Jesus Christ. He really picked 4 running backs, didn't he? I cannot get over that. What is he doing? All right. I'm sorry. I'm moving on here. The cornerback was who again?
Kelly.
Frank? F. Kelly?
I think so. Yes, F. Kelly.
I mean, I don't want to F. Kelly, but somebody else does. 5'11", pretty good man cover. All around, pretty good running back. Ran a 4.46 40. Did 11 on the bench press, so he's even weaker than a 78-year-old grandmother. He's the weakest guy in the draft. 11 on the bench press. You're going to have to work on the strength. He's going to get blown up by receivers in any kind of run game, but who knows? They're probably sticking out at down cornerback. Maybe a little bit of a reach here. Not a great pick. I think you got better picks that are out there, but overall, not too bad of a pick. As we are we are late in the 3rd round here.
Yes, 85th pick, the self-proclaimed best drafter in our league.
Oh
Chiefs
my God!
Drafted cornerback Parker W. Parker.
Oh well, here let's fill you in about this jewel of a player, Will Parker, rated to go in the 7th round. So man, really good player here. 6'2". He can play pretty decent zone coverage, but after that, he needs to go be a water boy. He can't do anything else. Ran a 4.5 40, so he's going to get burnt in any kind of passing deep game, especially since he can't play man coverage. And he did do 23 on the bench press, so be plenty strong enough. But yeah, we do mess with B-Hog. He does self-proclaim himself to be the best drafter that we've ever met, but that pick makes me scratch my head just a little bit. Hey, here's a clue, B-Hog. Go scout your own damn strong safeties. Right outside linebacker Houston. I just took a little sneak peek over there. I do like this pick. I think it's a little bit of a risky pick, but you're late in the 3rd quarter. Who took Houston?
The Titans.
Yeah, so there's an opportunity there to take a risky pick. 6'2", really good tackler. Gonna struggle in man coverage. Okay in zone coverage. Man, smoke another one. Did run a 4.78 40, and he did do 25 in the bench press. Probably a dude that you think about moving. Excuse me, over to in a 3-4. I think they do run 3-4 in Tennessee. So maybe this is one of those guys that you move to defensive end in a 3-4, and you're able to get some nice playing time for him. What happened after Houston?
Maniac, tell him about.
I selected left tackle Gokong, Joseph Gokong out of Nebraska.
Gokong.
Oh man, come on! I was waiting for you to take David Wang. That's the guy I can't wait to get picked over there. So tell us about Mr. Gokong. I wasn't super impressed about him. 6'5", a guy that I think will be a better pass blocker than a run blocker. And in this league, I think you want good run blockers. He did do 23 on the bench press. He's going to need some work there. What would he come out as?
Yeah, he's pretty weak. He's 78 strength, 76 run block, but he also has 82 pass block and 82 impact block. I'm just needing some guys back there. I've got a couple of contracts that may not work out this next season, so preparing for just in case if something happens. He has slow development though, so that's going to really hurt unless I can get in there and maybe get him up to normal. But overall, it's not bad. He'll feel a need.
All right, so after
to go
Mr.
back,
Gokong, what do we have?
Now, I was going to say, go back to look at Benson. He might have been the fastest player in the draft, picked by the Packers. 97 speed, 96 acceleration. If he can build any kind of other attributes of that guy could be
Is he a running back?
Scary weapon. He's that wide receiver, that Benson that you were talking about earlier. After that, we had Ducks or not Ducks, whichever one was picking for the Rams, picked middle linebacker Hannon. Hannon.
Sure the hell ain't Ducks, and he's been making stupid picks all night. Miles Hammond. This is actually a guy that I had my eye on. Who knows? Maybe Ducks just was vetoing the first 3 rounds that actually matter. But Miles Hammond, 5'11" guy, really good tackler, really good. Not a finished product. He can run a little bit, 4'6", 240, and he did do 25 on the bench press. I like the pick. I think it's worth a later round pick here in the third, fourth round. Like you could take an opportunity there to take a chance. Nice pick.
We got the Chargers going with tight end M. Painter at the 89th pick. We got the Steelers going at number 90 with a halfback, Diggs at number 90. We have the Seahawks going with a halfback, Boswell at number 91.
Let me see if I can find Mr. Diggs and Mr. Boswell. Fisher Diggs, 6'3", a big guy, nice stiff arm. He did run a 5'2", 440 and did 22 on the bench press. And then Boswell, you said?
Yes, sir. E.
Yeah,
Boswell.
this was a guy that I kind of hoped failed on one of my picks. Again, if you guys can help me out, give me a heads up when I'm 3 or 4 picks out because I need to look over my draft board here. 5'9", kind of a small guy, pretty speedster though. 4'3", 840, did 18 on the bench press. A guy that I think is going to be a great third down back. A guy that can come in and get 5, 6, 7 carries for you, run a couple of tosses, sweeps, screens, and be a good player. Who took him?
That would be Seattle. Mo.
Yeah, that's the last thing that Seattle needed was another really strong, good player. But that's a playmaker. He'll make plays. I'm telling you right now, that guy will make plays for Seattle this year.
And right now we're, I guess it's the Eagles just made a pick. It would be left end B. Burnett.
The tight end that you said the Chargers took, I think, is
Yes, sir,
intriguing.
Painter.
An interesting pick. I'm interested to see how he comes out. I like this left end that you just said went Barnett. I had him at 6'6", a nice tackler, a guy that could get off of blocks. Ran a 4.8, 440. Did 36 on the bench press. He's stronger than most offensive linemen. That's going to be a really good 3-4 type of player if that's what they run.
Got stats on Painter right here: 81 speed, 78 acceleration. But the key thing for Dawson, I think you see in the chat, was the 78 run block. That's pretty good for a tight end, especially a team that likes to run the ball like he does. That could go a long way.
Really good.
After Burnett and the Eagles, you went with the Vikings and Bill. Went with Cobbs at halfback, K. Cobbs.
See if we can find Mr. Cobbs here. Yep, K. Cobbs are probably the top rated Madden running back that's left of the board. 6'0", so that's 6'8". Nice ball carrier guy, a guy that ran a 4.4, 240 and did 20 in the bench press. Solid overall running back. I do think there were a couple better running backs, but not a bad pick for them.
Maniac, you got your Discord up?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, if you want to cover Ballantyne that the Bengals just picked, I'll let you cover him if you want.
Where's he at?
All right.
What is he?
Right end.
Ballantyne, right end. Really good pick here. It looks like 71 overall, 89 strength, 84 tackle, 82 block shed, 77 power move, 82 acceleration, 79 speed. So big 6'6" foot guys can move off the edge. So
yeah, another 3-4 guy that I had on my personal list. A good player, man. He plug and play that dude from day one into 3-4, and he'll make plays for you.
Diggs for the Steelers, he just posted a picture of him, and he was 6'3", 240 pounds. A good compliment back to Bell. He ended up 89 speed, only 82 acceleration. But if you're just wanting a short back, he's 88 trucking, 94 stiff arm. That's a scary guy for a short yardage situation, especially with a team with an explosive running back like he already has. With the 95th pick, the Seattle Seahawks, who have another pick, I know, Mo, you're a pick hoarder, is right guard Vasquez, V. Vasquez. And with the 96th pick, the new look Patriots, the back-to-back champs, left outside linebacker R. Scroggins.
What a name.
Scroggins.
Ramos Scroggins looks like a scrotum to me. Not really a player that I was interested in. 6'3", all around a pretty decent running back, but he ran a 4.86 40, which kind of took him off the buckets for me. If you look back though at what was the offensive lineman? I think you guys just told me about
Vasquez.
Victor Vasquez. That's it. Right guard, 6'4" guy. Had on my personal list. A good impact and run blocker. Not a bad pass blocker. He's going to need a little work there. And he did 27 in the bench press. So he's going to need to hit the weight room. But a nice backup right guard. Maybe even bump that dude out to tackle since he's not super duper strong in the center. Move him out to tackle. I think you got you a solid backup and a guy that could be a potential starter in a season or two.
Like you said, Vasquez, Mo just posted a picture of him. You called it. His strength is only 79, something he's got to work with, but he did come with a solid 83 run block, 80 pass block, and 85 impact block. That's a solid pick here at the end of the third round.
No, very, very good pick. The Seahawks have done really, really well. A team that's quietly done well, at least I think that they have. They're kind of the Tennessee Titans of most of these drafts. I usually always super like what Tennessee does. I haven't been impressed with Tennessee this year, but the Chicago Bears have quietly had a good draft here. I don't know what he did in the offseason. It was fast and furious, and so I didn't get to super pay attention to what he did, but I really like his draft so far. I think he's done really, really well.
With the 97th pick, 00 picked left tackle Gould.
Yep, not impressed. I think that you have better players that are left out there. Not a ton of them. This guy is 6'4", more of an impact blocker than anything else, and he did 27 in the bench press. You could have done better in that position.
And with the 98th pick, the Redskins picked strong safety Polk. And with the 99th pick, the Dolphins went with, if I'm not mistaken, it might be the first fullback of the draft, Lay. P. Lay. Have fun with that one, Nate.
Yep, I always like to lay with the P. And let's talk about Mr. Zachary Polk, a strong safety, 5'10", good zone coverage, good hit power. I think this is a really good player for them. Ran a 4.67 40, so now he's not going to be a burner. But he did 23 in the bench press. He'll be able to hold his own. Potential day one starter. Nice pick as you get here late in the third round. And let's talk about this fullback that you were just telling us about, Mr. Patrick Lay. A really good pick, probably the best fullback if you needed one in this draft. 6'1", and he's 22, so he's super young. Nice impact block, a nice stiff arm, which is what you have to have if your last name is going to be Lay. Good trucker, 5'18" 40, and he did 28 in the bench press. He'll be plenty strong enough. Nice pick there for, I think you said, the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, it was he's a mini lineman. He's 6'1", almost 265 pounds. He's 88 impact block, 75 run block, and 82 strength. You're talking about a guy who can. Well, he's breathing really hard.
Wow.
But then that dude is a solid pickup at this point, and that guy can spearhead a running attack and open some lanes up. With the 100th pick of the draft, the Raiders pick free safety King. With the 101st pick of the draft, Chaotix and the Mighty Browns pick left outside linebacker Lockett.
Whoever's mic checking and breathing like you got a Burger King Big Whopper in your mouth, chill out with that, man. You're killing the podcast. All right, let's talk about King real quick. 5'10", nice tackler, nice hit pat. Not a finished product. He's going to need some work. A 4.53 40 and did 26 in the bench press. Probably a guy that you move over to strong safety. After King, though, give me the next one.
Lockett. I think it's Lockett, left outside linebacker with the Browns. And right guard Mullen for the Cardinals at pick 102.
Let's talk about Lockett real quick. I like that pick. 6'2", a risky pick, but a guy that can tackle pretty well, a guy that can be a thumper, but only ran a 4.72 40. Probably a guy that you move to defensive end. Did do 25 on the bench press. If not, then you're going to stick him at right outside linebacker and let him just rush the quarterback, if nothing else. And after that, what was the pick?
Right guard P. Mullen for the Cardinals.
Yeah, Mr. Patrick Mullen, 6'3" guy. Oh, I just got the finger, guys. 6'3" guy, a guy that is a run blocker and pass blocker. Not the good kind of finger, the bad kind of finger that says "Get out of my room, I'm ready to go to bed." 5 foot. He ran a 5'10" 40 and did 31 on the bench press. So not a bad pick. A red chipper, a guy that's going to need a little bit more work, but potentially a really good pick for them. So I'm going to let you guys talk for a few minutes by your little lonesome. And then I'll come catch back up here in just a second once I've moved my little butt to the living room before I get hit with a frying pan.
All right. Mullen, Maniac, if you just seen the Discord thing, is pretty solid. 83 strength, 82 run block, 81 pass block, 78 impact. And man, that's just a solid pick at this point in the draft. With the 103rd pick, the Colts picked wide receiver Mullins. The 104th pick, we got the Broncos going with left end McMahon. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. And the Seahawks with another pick in the draft. At 105, pick right end Oakley. And 106, we have the Panthers going with strong safety Cole. It sets us up now for the 11th pick of the 4th round with the defending champion coach, no longer with the Patriots anymore, but defending champion coach, Cincy Iceberg, with the 11th pick in the 4th round on the clock.
What did he leave up there?
Maniac, have you abandoned me? I think so.
I can't hear a word.
The Buccaneers
Well,
are
yeah,
now on the
'cause
clock.
And with the
Well, it's way
107th
back
pick,
to swing.
the Bengals pick left
The
end
Seahawks are now on the
Carmen.
clock.
I haven't got my stuff pulled up as we speak right now. 108th pick, that was a quick pick by the new look Smash Bucks. Picked wide receiver Jay Frey. We go back to the Cole pick with the Panthers. Pretty solid pick if you're a safety lover like myself. 84 speed, 92 acceleration, 82 zone, 83 hit power. Man, it's a solid guy to build on. He honestly, once his acceleration drops at regression, which he's only 22, he's more of a tweener. He's kind of a linebacker / safety. His speed could be up a little bit, but man, if you know how to play it right, that guy could be a solid pick from day one. And maybe a year of seasoning, that guy could be a real solid player. And guys, if you're listening, you can sure post pictures of your guys in the chat. It'd make me a lot easier. I'm not quite as charismatic as Nate and Maniac are. Thank you, Mo. Oakley was just posted in the chat. Right in, 91 strength, 88 tackle. Man, just a solid guy. I think he was ranked number 76 in true talent. That's just a solid guy. 24 years old, the only knock you got on him. But at this point, man, he's going to be a solid everyday player. Okay, we went with free safety, 109 for the Seahawks. Dexter. Trevorance Dexter, 88 speed, 90 acceleration, 87 hit power. Mo, I love the 87 hit power. I like a safety that can knock somebody's head off. Solid picks, man. Even at this point in draft, guys are still paying attention. Guys are still getting some depth. You guys don't know how far this goes. Paying attention this late in the draft, you get guys. I mean, my import draft player from last Madden was a 7th round pick. Now he's 81 overall going into the 3rd season. He wasn't a great player when I drafted him, but 93 hit power, had some solid stats, and he's really paying dividends right now. So picking some key contributors or even just reserves at this point in the draft that are cheap and on cheap 4-year contracts are really nice to have.
I like how you
Jaguars
just said
on the
Maniac was charismatic. I couldn't get past that.
I didn't want to leave him out. Yeah, y'all are both way more charismatic than I am.
I'm going to let you
I've
keep
tried-
on talking. The nice thing is that I do have my TV back, and so I don't have to stream the PlayStation, which means I might be able to take this live for a little bit.
And you're 3 picks away.
And I'm 3 picks away. So that's why I'm going to let you do the talking for a little bit so that I can go ahead and I can look over my draft board.
Go for it. Jaguars go with free safety Mercelius. I don't have a lot on him. I can pull it up, guys. Kind of going off what I got in the Discord chat right now. The Sheets page is always interesting to keep up with. Chaotix posted a picture of his linebacker from Mercer Lockett. A solid guy all around. He's 70 overall, 82 speed, 82 tackle, 80 hit power, 23 years old. That 6'2", 250. Man, that's a solid guy, especially for a guy that usually is in the top 5 defense every year since I've been in Madden. He doesn't need any more help.
Okay, I'm not muted. I am pausing the draft for like 2 minutes. And the reason I'm doing that is because I had to move out of my room, and I'm like way behind on these picks, and so I have no clue who is even available. So if you guys just be patient, I think I've earned 2 minutes to pause the draft. Let me update my board really quick. If I could get you to help me, the way you can help me is I am at left end McMahon for the Denver Broncos. If you could just call these out slowly, and I can run through these and update, and then look at my board and make my pick really fast.
Okay.
So I got McMahon.
Okay. Next, you had right end H. Oakley was picked. At 106, you had strong safety Cole. At 107, you had left end Carmen, D. Carmen.
You said left end, right?
Yes, sir. At 108, we had wide receiver Jay Frey.
One more time.
Jay Frey. Frey.
Jay Frey. Hold on 1 second on that one. Frey.
Wide receiver.
Oh, here he is. Okay.
Okay. Free safety T. Dexter at 109.
Okay.
Free safety Mercelius, K. Mercelius.
Yep. Okay.
At 110. Cornerback Polite at number 111, going to the Dolphins.
Give me a second on that one. Polite, where you at? What was his first initial again? What'd you say his first initial was? Did everybody leave? Hello? Dwayne? I think I lost my buddy that was helping me. Alright, let me, here we go. Iran, Polite. There's a catch-22. Okay, and then Gordon, and I'm going to unpause the draft and take my 2 minutes here to figure out who it is I want to do. Okay, sorry guys. Thank you for being patient. I'm probably going to run out of time here because I haven't even got to look. What do I need? What I need?
Hello?
Hey, now you're back.
I don't. Maybe because I got my computer. I'm running through my computer. Maybe I let it go to sleep.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I'm scrambling here. I don't even know what I should be picking.
Gordon was the next pick right before yours. Right outside linebacker.
All right, I just picked somebody. I didn't have time to really look this over. This is the sucky part about doing this. So I took Corey Cardine out of Oklahoma State, 23 years old, 6'5", 242, 66 overall, 88 speed, 75 tackles, 71 block shed, 77 hit power. That's what happens when you scramble and you didn't get an opportunity. I do like he comes with a lot of traits. Balanced linebacker, balanced ball, big hitter, high motor. So those are things I don't, excuse me, have to invest in So it is what it was. Glad that's over, and maybe I'll have more time for my next picks here. So that
Well,
catches us up. We are in round 4, pick number 18. So we're blowing and going here.
going.
Man, it is flying by. I got pick 120 that's coming up for me personally. So I actually got a couple picks here.
Go
Again, I
ahead
guess
and
we'll start kind of opening this up to people that would like to chat. So
I know
yeah,
Priest is just sitting there waiting.
if you want to
Priest,
chat, feel free to hop on in here. You guys can type. This is being recorded so people can actually read what you type. Um,
What's up, guys?
who is this? This has got to be
Priest.
Priest.
Yep.
How's the whiskey over there, my friend? Jesus Christ, what are you doing with 17 halfbacks?
Well, I only had one. I got to get my backups.
My God, how many backups you need?
Well, I cut everybody, right? So I only had Goody. I need at least 2.
Oh my goodness, you got to help us explain. So what are you gonna do with all of these halfbacks here? You took a couple early, back to back picks almost there in like the second round. I know that you love your speed. You've picked a ton of speed tonight. So just tell us about your draft overall. How do you feel about it? What was your thought process going into it?
So let me throw this picture up real quick. I actually just picked a nice one.
There we go.
If it was another halfback, you got to
It
go.
was.
You picked another halfback?
No, no.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that's it. I can't with him.
Just one sec here.
It was solid. It's a solid pick at this point in the draft.
I love the fact that we said we could take on Priest if he was ready, and then he gets on just to tell us to hold up. Man, come on, man. You could have waited another 10 seconds to post
All
that
right.
picture
Okay.
and then
So I
get
picked.
on.
This guy I picked was Antonio Genius. This guy's just solid. He's 79 overall, 94 agility, 92 acceleration, 88 speed. So he'll definitely back up Goody. And then Douglas McKnight, I just picked him because he's fast, man. He'll get a couple pitches here and there. He's 96
Hey,
speed.
let's just pause for a second and have a no shit moment. Yeah, we know why you picked him, man.
The other guy, I'm not even going to keep him. I just wanted to see how he was. And then Benson, man, he's just pure speed. 97 speed, 97 acceleration, 90 agility. I'll have fun catching him in the slot. And then the last pick I picked up, defensive tackle, Morgan Macbeth, 71 overall. Let's see, what is he? 87 strength, 80 tackle, 75 power moves, 80 acceleration. Freaking 80 acceleration is pretty good for a defensive tackle.
Yeah, the way you got a good running game, the way you do, a receiver like Benson with a little bit of work, man, that dude can be a game changer. I mean,
I already have another kid that's 97 speed. So now I got 2. So that's one on each side.
I mean, yeah, somebody can't stack the box on you. You got speed like that, and you make defenses really look and really think before they make that play call.
Well, I picked up Shaq beforehand, and I almost didn't do it, but I figure Shaq was already well tuned. Like the linebacker I would have got first round I would have had to tune him up, right? So Shaq brings my defense to the scary point that I need.
I'm making my pick, so I'm gonna let you guys
Yeah,
talk to each other.
Shaq was a solid player. I played against him for like the last Madden, this Madden. That was a hell of a pickup. And like I said, I don't blame you. Get a sure thing. He's still young. Get a sure thing. You can spend that pick on somebody else.
Well, I moved him. I use him my end, so I moved him to left end. He's going to be my money guy I'm using all year.
So I'll talk about my guy really fast, just because I got him up. I'm going to take him down and not look back. But I took another speed guy just because, I just needed to hurry up, make a pick. 95 speed, 94 acceleration receiver, 5'9". I hate that. I hate picking 5'9" receivers. But what I really like about him is 82 catch and 81 catch in traffic. So the guy can hold on to the ball, so not a bad pick. So, Priest, let's get back to talking about your team. What was kind of the goal moving into this draft? Like, what did you need to happen?
Well, I picked the last draft. I picked my O-line, which they're coming into their own. Goody didn't really have a good year last year, so That's the reason I picked two halfbacks up this draft, because he might be moved back to number two. It all depends how he starts the season. But my defense is solid. I
Wait a
just need.
minute. Wait a minute. You can't just say that and keep going. Are you telling us here that you're going to sit a guy that almost won MVP in his rookie year, rookie of the year, the guy that you had built your entire offensive around? You're going to sit that dude?
If he comes out struggling, he's gonna get. And these rookies, yeah, he's gonna get put to the number two.
Cutthroat.
Wow, that's big news here. I think people would pay pretty good money to get him on their team.
Yeah, that might happen.
So, what were your other needs outside of halfback?
I didn't really have it. Like basically, all my picks right here are my backups. I feel I'm set, ready to go.
So, what was kind of the plan coming into this offseason, just in general, free agency and everything? What were you looking to have happen? And were you able to kind of fill those needs that you needed?
Free agency, I couldn't do much. With that signing of Bierfick last year, it kind of tied me up a bit. I had a lot of uh, like I tried to grab some guys, but they wouldn't sign. So when this is over, I'm gonna have to pick up probably 4 or 5 guys, but they're gonna be backups, so hopefully they'll be okay.
Hey, Wayne, just a heads up, your pick is coming up here pretty soon.
Okay, appreciate it.
So, Priest, tell us, last year was kind of an up and down season for you. What's it going to take for your team to get over the hump and really make another run here in the NFC?
Basically, if I can take the sack instead of throwing the interceptions, I'll win the game. That's my fault. Any game that I lost last year is because I forced too many passes.
Spoken like a true man. Any man that can take the sack is a pretty good dude.
You have to, and if I can just keep the key is the running game. You get your running game going, then anything can happen and you're going to win. Now, if you can't get that running game going, it's hard to win.
So what's the plan at quarterback? Aaron Rodgers is getting up there in age. I'm sure his salary cap number is getting larger and larger. You traded away. You raped me Huntley. So who is gonna? What are you doing at quarterback here?
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's on re-sign after this year. I'm going to play him out until he retires. Hopefully, I get at least a couple more seasons out of him.
Is he starting to decline on you?
Sorry, go ahead.
Is he starting to decline on you?
He went from a 99 to a 97, so he's still, I still got a buttload of XP to put on him, but it's hard to put on him because every stat is just
outrageous.
Like the only thing I can really do is injury and toughness,
So you just brought up some of the rookie quarterbacks in this draft. Are there some guys that you still have your eye on?
There is. I'm actually going to take a few just to see because I only have him right now, so I need a backup. If he gets injured, I'm screwed right now. So I do have a couple guys in mind that are down in the draft. Cole Trapasso. I don't know how his arm looks, but Hoffman, Ballantyne, and Gallagher. Those are probably the 4 I'm looking at right now.
All right. So what do you think is really the ceiling for your team as you move into season 76?
Beat the Rams the first week. They'll send the momentum.
That's a really good goal to set forward to. But what happens if you don't? What is do you think that you have real chances to win this division? And if not, what's it going to take for you to get into the playoffs?
I should have won it last year. I lost too many games by like 3 points.
I should have won the division every year too, and I just lose too many games too. That's just my problem too.
I gotta win those games I'm not winning. That's the bottom line. You can't keep losing. Even like the Bears this year. I think he lost every game by like 6. He didn't get blown out all the time.
Yeah.
It's just you just got to win those hard games.
Well, you guys heard it here first. Priest is aiming to win the games that he loses and always take the sack. So you heard it right here first. Breaking news. Priest is the guy who's going to work on
this year, Bill.
Bill, he's coming for you. Bill just had to run out of the AFC. The NFC South there. So, all right, Priest. Thanks for joining us right now and for being with us. We'll enjoy the rest of your draft, and we'll see you in season 76, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for doing all this for us as well. Appreciate it.
All right, there's Mr. Priest. Guys, don't forget that you can. I don't think Priest got that. I was just jabbing him a little bit there. No, Priest is such a good dude. He's one of those guys that have been in our league now for a while, and he just really, he's like a cornerstone, right? You don't hear a ton from him during the season because he's so busy just with life and football and all the other stuff that he's involved in. But he's one of those guys that you can build a great league on, and we're glad that he's here. But don't forget, you guys, spread this Skype off to your buddies in Discord. You guys can talk here. You can chat. It's being streamed, so I can read it and I can see it now. But we'd love to just kind of hear about your draft and how things are going, even if it's just typing. So I'm gonna catch up on a couple of picks here. Long Curtis just went over to the Detroit Lions, so you're probably getting a lot of computer picks now. Cornerback Reeser went to the Washington Redskins. Ray Reeser, he's a 5'11 kid, a good man coverage guy, pretty decent and press. Gonna have to work on his zone coverage skills. Ran a 4.5 440 and did 25 of the bench press. So, excuse me, he'll be plenty strong enough. And then right after that, McGrath went to the Panthers, and they really have just focused so much on defense that you see they're starting to take some opportunities here with the offense. It's going to be. I think I said this earlier, but that's going to be a scary team just because he lost games because he wasn't around. He literally was out on vacation, and that just set him behind the eight ball. He's going to be around. He's going to have a better team. He's got high draft picks. It's going to be a scary team. The NFC's better take notice.
Yeah, these guys can't sleep on the Panthers. Don't let last season deceive you. Like I said, he missed some games early, and like I said, I think you said in one of the PPLs, it just kind of seemed like it threw him into a funk all season. And I know from a fact I played him twice. That was not the Colin I've used to playing. And he's just reloading. He messaged me today and said, "Get ready for the 2020 Panthers," which he's trying to insinuate. I guess he's not ready for next year, but don't sleep on him. To me, he's almost your favorite in the NFC South. I'm not knocking me or Nate with that one, but the Panthers, when they're on, Panthers are scary. Man, these picks are flying by. Like I said, some of these picks must be computer picks now.
Yeah, let me talk about the Panthers pick of Patrick Stewart, 6'5" guy. He ran a 4.45 40, did 18 on the bench press, so he's going to have some pretty nice speed. He's going to catch everything around him. He's big, he's tall. It's a really good pick for that Panthers squad. And like you said, these picks are coming in. Not the Panthers, I'm sorry, for Cleveland. We were talking about the Panthers, but that's a nice pick for Chaotic in Cleveland. Defensive tackle Donnell. I'm going to do that one, and then you catch me up after that. Let me find Donnell real quick. Roman Donnell, a guy that had some potential, 6'2", nice power move. Going to struggle getting off of blocks, but he did do 31 on the bench press. You catch me up after that.
Okay. Pull that right back up. Okay, we got cornerback F. Hoyt going to the Colts at 135.
Yep. Overall, guys, 4.45 40.
We got Denver picking up a receiver to go with that prolific passing game he has. E. Holt at receiver.
Let me find Mr. Holt. Ellis Holt. Yep, a 5'11 guy, ran a 4.59 40 and did 13 on the bench press.
The Kansas City Chiefs going with free safety Swoop. Free safety. Probably a solid pick, especially with the team that's already, playoff caliber team.
Yep, Samuel Swoop.
Panthers at 138 go with tight end Wesovich. Wesovich at pick 138.
Oh, that's the guy that I really had my eye on. Another really good pick for him. Carolina's had such a good draft here.
Cincinnati Bengals go with tight end Simonson, however you want to pronounce it, at pick 139.
Yep, Devin Simpson. I think that there was a better one out there, but not a bad pick for them. 4.7 240, did 14 on the bench press. Not a fast guy, not a strong guy. He's going to need some work.
Pick 140, the new look Bucks go with right end A. Hartman.
Yep, a guy that I had my eye on. 6'7", nice power move, nice pursuit. Ran a 4.67 40 and did 26 on the bench press. All around, he kind of reminds me of Smart, who is in the Hall of Fame after being drafted by
Yes.
the Cardinals. I really like him. Man, that Tampa Bay and
And you
Carolina,
got
solid drafts.
reloading, restocking. And you got the Bears, who, like we talked about earlier, have had a solid draft. And Outlaw usually does have he even has solid draft last Madden. Aside, everybody questioned him about the one wide receiver pick he had, and the wide receiver turned out to be a real good player. It's just hard when you draft a guy at 24 years old to really see the ceiling that he could have had at 21 or 22. But he goes with cornerback here, Jay Dunlap.
Yeah, 5'11" guy, pretty good to press. Gonna need to work on his man and zone. Ran a 4.49 40, so not a burner, but not super slow either. Probably gonna be at that 90 range. 17 on the bench press, so he'll be plenty strong enough to play the slot. Nice pick. You wish he was a little bit taller, but excuse me. Overall, nice pick. I'm gonna actually let you have the next three, and I'm just gonna check out my draft board real quick.
Go for it. All right, Dolphins go with tight end Bundren with pick 143. 00 is up next. We're gonna go back to Dunlap for the with Outlaw, who he just picked. 88 speed, 89 acceleration, 76 man, 76 zone. At 22 years old, solid pick. Outlaw. That was a real solid pick. A guy that maybe you can slip on your practice squad until somebody tries to poach him from you, or you can, like I said, man, you can put him at a 4 or 5 spot and just let him grow. Because I mean, other than his play rec and catching, you get that play rec up, which at his age is real cheap, and you can have a heck of a cornerback there. Let's see here. I see Colin posted a whole thing on his. That's scary. That's scary, Colin, seeing your draft board right now. Go back to the Bucks. We're talking about Hartman with smash, 79 strength, 85 speed, 79 acceleration, 88 power move at 6'7" and nearly 300 pounds. Hey, smash, man, that guy's a solid pick. Yeah, he'll probably be a force that me and my new quarterback will be scared to see in the upcoming seasons. Let's see what we got here. All right. Let's see. Wesovich was 81 speed, 81 acceleration. Not a bad pick at this point in the draft. 65 overall. I mean, with a little bit of work at his size, 6'4", 250, he's just going to be a solid guy who can really get in there and be a Panther for the next couple of years. We got 00 fixing to make the pick, and then Nate takes his pick. We got a Huff, tight end Huff, went to the Lions. Another team, guys, y'all don't need to sleep on. I played against him all Madden 17, and he has actually beat me more than anybody since I've been in this league. When he's focused and in the zone and playing his game the way he should play it, there's really not many people that play a better game of Madden than he does. Let's see here.
All right, I'm going to talk about my pick real quick. I just took Artez Burton, a 6-foot guy, 190 out of UCLA, 66 overall, balanced type of player. I just took him because I loved his man coverage skills and his speed. 92 speed, 88 acceleration. I don't like that part. 78 man coverage, 75 zone, and 65 catch. So, you know what? A guy that has a little bit of a potential. You worry about that acceleration, especially with the Atlanta Falcons. They're so quick. But you know what? We're late. What are we in the 5th round now? So I can't really complain about that pick. It was worth me taking a shot there. Yeah, you were
at this point
talking.
in the draft.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying at this point in the draft, it is worth it to take shots at guys that, might not be. I mean, there's not sure things at this point in the draft. This is the time if you want to take some shots on guys. I know some of you guys take shots way earlier. But man, this is the point in the draft where you take shots on guys that, might be a wild card, might be somebody that fits your thing. And like I said, this is that point in the draft where you can take that shot and, it not be as big of a risk.
I see somebody is in the chat asking, how do you change your name? I have no clue how you got that name, but it should just be your profile. You should be able to All right, man. I don't know how to edit your profile, but it should be under file. Yeah, view profile, and you should be able to change it under there somewhere. Um, at least I think that that's the plan. Let's see. I'm getting some text messages here. Let me see if I can close that.
Let's see. We went the Jets. Went with pick 146. They went with halfback Morton.
Our guys still pretty active. I mean, we got a lot of guys in here right now. Again, if you guys
Lot
would
of
like to talk, please just give us a heads up, chat, type, say, hey, I want to talk, and we'll bring you on and just kind of interview you about your draft and about how things have went so far. Other than that, we'll just kind of keep filling some dead air here.
Mo, if you're on, I want to hear about these 10 picks you posted that you've had so far. Really solid draft, man. You pretty much you could have your whole practice squad through the first 5 rounds.
I want to talk
Jump
about
on here, Les.
yeah, you jump on. We want to hear from you. I want to talk about McCoy that the Packers just took. A guy at like 6'0", 4'3", 540, did 16 on the bench press. He was the guy I was looking at to take a little while ago, but I went a different route. Decent pressing man. Going to need some work with his zone though, but not a bad pick here late.
You're
What up,
you're
fellas?
right.
Can
Who
you
we
hear
got
me?
here?
This is Mo.
What's up,
What's
Mr.
up?
Mo?
What's happening, guys?
Just another wonderful day here in the OMFL. Let me see if I can find this defensive tackle real fast, and then we'll get you talking about your team. Well, just give us a heads up. How do you feel season 76 draft has went for you so far? You've had so many picks. You worked so hard to kind of gather all those picks. More hits than misses. Are you happy? Are you still? Is the jury still out? What do you kind of think about your draft so far?
No, I definitely love that first guy, Will Keezy, that wide receiver. He's a little short, nothing like friggin' the 49ers Sir Wanga or anything, but I'm very pleased with how he
What a
turned
name!
out. I mean, no one's gonna ever live up to that guy, but he's pretty good. The rest of my draft, it was mediocre, to be honest. I mean, the 2 tackles I took in the first round, they're both good. Nothing wrong with them. But seeing the offensive linemen that went after them for the next couple rounds, even similar or better, so I was pretty disappointed in that. And then the rest of my draft it's all right. I mean, some depth that it's just going to take a couple seasons to even possibly sniff the roster starting lineup.
Tell me about your off season. Now you're kind of reloading here. You dumped some salary. You went into the off season with a lot of money. How do you feel your off season has went? Do you still have holes that you need to fill here, or do you feel really solid about where you're at?
Yeah, I do feel pretty good actually. I think I gave 3 or 4 guys 10 million a year in the first couple rounds. I got Earl Thomas back at safety. That was probably the biggest hole on my team after I moved Cam Chancellor down to linebacker. So that was a pretty big need get. I also got Brandon Graham to pair him. I think he was 3rd or 4th in sacks last year, and pair him with Malik McDowell and Michael Bennett, who are both top 2 or 3 in sacks. So hopefully those 3 guys can wreak some havoc on the D line. And then I also picked up Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, who was on the Rams last year, who one of Ducks' many emotional, had a couple bad games, you're off my team kind of thing. So, I'm pleased with free agency. I got some good players that'll definitely get a lot of playing time.
Now you had a really good season last year. You made a nice run deep in the playoffs, and that's kind of been the MO for your team. Either you don't make the playoffs and you get that high pick, or you're deep in the playoffs. But what's it going to take for the Seattle Seahawks to really get over the hump and get yourself into that first OMFL Bowl?
I think it's probably going to take Ducks and Dwayne both leaving the league.
Well, Ducks, I think you have a shot on. I mean, that day's probably coming one day, the second that NCAA drops. Dwayne, that's probably going to be a little bit of a larger struggle.
No, I love both those guys. They're good guys and amazing Madden players, and it's a bear to get past those 2 guys in the playoffs. I mean, I could have 12, 13 win seasons, no problem, and get in there and face them, and they just embarrass me. So that's the way it goes. They're just great players.
So why is that? Why? What do you think has been the struggle? Is it turnovers? Is it ball control? What's kind of been the struggle that if you get it figured out, you feel like you can compete?
I tell myself to keep running against them, and then I start out maybe doing that, and then I probably get away from it quicker than I should when I get down or get frustrated not getting as much offense as I think I should be getting. So maybe just sticking with that run because both of them feast on turnovers and just playing a good conservative game. So kind of playing that same style, I think, is probably my best shot, but I kind of tend to get away from it.
What excites you the most about the season 76? You've really revamped that team, and you spent a lot of money in some key areas. What are you most excited about hitting the field and finding out what you have?
I feel like every time I think I have a better team than the year before, coming off a good season, I do worse. So once again, I feel like I have a better team than I had last year when I had, I think, 13 wins or something. I only lost KJ Wright, who was a good run-stopping linebacker, but I picked up, all those guys I mentioned in free agency, a couple of really good players in the draft that I'll start. So I would think my team would be a lot better. But I guess part of that is probably coming off, first place finish in your division schedule is a lot tougher schedule. So I think my team's better, but whether I'll have more wins, I probably doubt that.
D-Wayne, just to give you a heads up, your pick's coming up here pretty soon.
All right.
What do you feel, Mo, is just a little future focused here? What do you think is going to be the next couple of years? What does that hold for you? Do you still have some areas that you feel like you have to think about for the future because of age or maybe salary cap? What are you looking forward to the future?
I have a pretty good young base on my team now. I was able to get rid of some of those older guys and get a lot of good depth in that first draft last year. This year, I had almost no holes going into this draft, so there wasn't really much for me to go after except for just building guys for down the road. So I'm hoping this draft can be the building block for 2-3 years when kind of the current crop of starters starts to go by the wayside.
All right, out not thinking about your draft, just seeing what you've seen played out, and of course you're probably more involved in the chat than I have been. Who gives somebody the best grade so far, taking yourself out of the equation? Who do you think's done their team the best after tonight?
I definitely wouldn't give myself the best grade anyway, but taking myself out of the equation, seeing Colin posted his draft, what was it, 10? He had a bunch of picks too. Let me scroll up here and find it. He had a good 7 picks that he posted. Some really good players. I mean, I really like that linebacker he took, the cornerback he took, that tackle that he got was also really good. So he has a really good draft going so far. I mean, I know a lot of guys got quick and superstar guys, especially early on. I don't know how many Colin got, but in the long run, that's probably what's gonna. If you have some good players that also have those devs, that's probably what's gonna push your draft over the top.
All right, last question for me then. What do you grade yourself? You came into this draft with a lot of draft picks. You made a big investment. You seem like you really did your homework to get ready for it. So grade yourself out. What kind of grade do you give yourself?
Off emotion right now, probably give myself a C plus. I usually like to write up an article kind of breaking down all my picks and really giving a grade to every pick and then an overall grade. Maybe it'll come in a little higher, but C plus C right now, and that's mainly because Kesey, I think, is such a great player.
Well, there you go. You heard it here with Mr. Mo. Mo, thank you so much for hopping on. We love having you on, and one day we got to get you on Press Pass Live. Kind of the plan here since Houday has retired, and just Dwayne and myself is to have a guest co-host to come on with Dwayne and be a guy that we can pick your brain. So hopefully you'll be able to make that happen. We'd love to have you on and come and talk some OMFL football with us.
That'd be great. See you later, Nate and Dwayne.
All right, my friend. Thank you again.
Later,
have
man.
a great night for the rest of your draft here.
You too.
All right, there you heard it. You heard it from the man himself. Why don't you talk about your pick? A lot of picks have went here. You're getting late. Guys are starting to kind of not care as much, which is fine. I'm totally plugged in, though, for the entire draft. I think there's been some really, really good picks. that have went off, and some guys that I think have done a good job. Dawson took a receiver a while ago that has some potential. But talk about your pick and anything else that kind of stuck out to you while we were talking.
Oh man, I've got four just dominant. To me, I say in my words, dominant. I like my linemen to be run block guys. I can give a little bit on pass block. I have four linemen. I have a fifth spot kind of up for grabs this season, and I've kind of been looking at free agency and draft to get a guy to replace him. I picked Frederick Seiler, 6'7", 330 pounds, out of Clemson, 22 years old. It's just normal development, but he's 82 strength, 83 run block, 89 impact. He's only 74 pass block. We'll have to work with that, but for the running game I like to do, he's just a perfect kind of build guy. And I couldn't have been happier to have him at this point. But like I said, and some of these guys, this is the point in the draft where you can really pick up some good steals because, like I said, a lot of guys kind of checked out. Computers are picking, or they're either picking just for speed guys. And this is the time of the draft where you can get some good steals that a couple years down the line can be a key contributor for you.
Yeah, I completely agree. You and I have got a little gap here before we have to worry about any of our picks. And so what I want to do is here, I just want to kind of go back and
Okay.
just kind of give you an update of where I feel like we still have here. Let me just get this defensive tackle that just went. Morrison, where you at, my buddy? Right here, R.T. Morrison. Just because I say that, now we're going to start rambling off a bunch of picks. But I think guys have had a solid draft, and I don't feel, though, like last year, I felt like by the time you got to the fourth round, you were just picking off the bones. There wasn't a whole lot left. I don't feel that way. I think this has been such a solid draft with so many good players that I think there really are some good players that are left in this draft. How do you
Right.
feel like the draft is shaking out, and do you feel like there's anything left out there?
Well, this draft, we went through since I've been here, I think this is maybe the seventh draft. Usually you have some really high tier prospects of some of these guys, and I don't want to accuse anybody of doing it, but we'll tank to get some of these guys. And I didn't quite see those guys this draft were them
Yeah,
guys that to me were franchise altering guys.
right.
But I've seen a little bit deeper draft. Maybe
Like,
not deep
yeah,
as in starters from day one starters, but deep as in you got guys like, I think we looked at one earlier. I think it was one lineman. It wasn't mine. It was somebody else's lineman who, man, was like 80s across the board. He wasn't nothing extremely special, but something that I think a year or two down the line, man, that guy can be a key guy for you. I think this is a good draft for those guys to fill out a roster, get some guys that are maybe draft right now or borderline starters, backups. In a couple seasons, that if you pay attention and you put your time and effort into scouting, man, you can have in a couple seasons. Some of these guys can be key contributors in their team, and that's why I look at this draft is it wasn't super heavy at the top, but I think it has some really quality players spread out through, and not even through the top 3 or 4 rounds. Through I think you can go even 5, 6 rounds.
Nope, I agree with you. Like the receiver Rogers that just went to the Arizona Cardinals, I think that's a great pick. 5'11". He's got great catching and great route running. He ran a 4.5 140, did 19 on the bench press. That's a guy that you could stick at number 2 from day one, and he's going to go make plays for you. I think that's a really, really good pick. I think right and outside linebacker still has some really good players that are out there that could just be a shocker. I personally think that there is another one, maybe two guys, at least one guy that I have my eye on that I think could have quick or superstar Devo. That it could just be a really good player. And what's going to start happening here is there are the teams who, they just don't care anymore. It's late, and so they're not picking. And they're going to be those of us who did our homework, who want to pick all the way through, who are going to get some really nice players. I think a couple of things that surprised me were the run on middle linebackers. I didn't see that coming at all. Not surprising is that there are a billion defensive tackles left. I think defensive tackle is the weakest position in this draft with the most players, and you can see no one's really touched defensive tackle. We've had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 go, and we're on pick number 9 here in the 6th round. And so because of that, I think that there'll be a ton of defensive tackles in free agency that are still going to be out there. A couple of other positions that I think they're still really good players. I think there's another halfback or two out there that has some potential. I think there's still a couple receivers out there that has some potential. And you've seen a couple go here in the last probably 20 picks. There's been two guys that I think are like red chipper players, like players that have real opportunity. Um, and they've went here in the last couple of picks. I think he got a couple of offensive linemen. Actually, I think more than a couple. He's got some good players, and I think they've
We
been
do.
avoided because their strength isn't that high. And because their strength isn't that high, guys know that it's just so much to fix strength. But I think guys are going to get them some solid backups. I would not be surprised if when we advance to free agency later tonight, um, if guys, you start seeing a bidding war on a couple of these offensive linemen, I think you're going to have some surprise players. So outside linebacker and offensive line still has some really good players left there.
Well, you had a pick, and we talked about the Panthers all night. And I'm not just trying to pick, talk about him because the NFC South rival and friend of mine.
No, he's had a great
Uh,
draft.
but he hit another home run. He hit tight end Trevor Patton at the 5th pick in the 6th round maybe. He 81 speed, 81 special catch, 90 acceleration at 6'7", almost 270-pound tight end, and he's 70 run block. That's a guy
Oh,
right there,
yeah.
man. With a little work, man, that guy can
That's
turn
the
into
guy
a
I was looking
monster.
for.
And now that's just a pick. Like, I don't know if Colin could have really did this draft any better. I see that Rodgers you were talking about, that 6'5", 224-pound receiver that went to the Cardinals. He's 86 speed, 89 acceleration, but that's not what you're paying him for. I mean, if he's any faster than that, it's good. But he's 91 jumping, 83 special catch, 79 catching traffic. You mess with his route running and awareness up a little bit, man, that dude can be a special player for the Cardinals.
Yeah, Corey Hudson just went to the Tampa Bay Bucks. Again, God, the Bucks and the Panthers have just been so good. He's another guy I liked, 5'10", good hit power. Gonna have to work on his zone coverage. Gonna have to learn how to wrap up. Ran a 4.64 40, did 24 in the bench press. A really good player for Tampa Bay, just to be a backup, right? And when you have a team that's rebuilding, you have to do that. You have to have solid backups because you're gonna have injuries in this league. You're gonna have issues that are gonna come up, and man, the Tampa Bay Bucks are another team that have had just a really good draft. Greg Murray just went to the Chicago Bears, 6'3", more of a power guy that can get off of blocks and get after the quarterback. Ran a 4.7 140, did 26 on the bench press, so a pretty solid pick there for the Chicago Bears. Again, you're getting so late here. You're just trying to find, practice squad guys. You're trying to find guys that could, potentially with an adjustment or two, maybe sneak their way into a second or third backup position. And if you find a guy that's a primary backup here this late, that's all lanyap. I mean, you've done your homework. You've done a good job. And again, I think if you're listening to this, and you're looking for what are some positions that maybe I didn't scout as much and I could look for? Hey, man, go look at offensive line. I think that you're going to find some jewels there. And again, kudos to the OMFL universe, 17 participants, and that has been pretty steady for the entire night. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, if you want to talk, just type and say that you'd like us to bring you in. We'll bring you in to talk about your draft. But it's been a good night, man. It's been a fast draft. I think we had a lot of good things building up to the draft with the pause draft. Overall, a good night. I just want to say, we're getting late here. You guys can see the schedule. We'll give you 5 to 10 minutes, probably 10 minutes between preseason rounds. We'll get you to week 4 so that you can set your practice squad and get your team to 53. Your blind bid systems can go in just like a normal in-season bidding. We want to thank Maniac for setting that up. And Maniac disappeared on us. Like he kind of sly about that. He gave us the deuces and got up on out of here. But thank you, Maniac, for getting that done for us. And I just want to, just stop and just say how much I appreciate everyone for participating in these things. These things are not fun if no one ever. No, we do not have injuries on. We keep them off. I hate no injuries. but we do keep them off. I wish that we could have them on, but I will not do that to everybody. So again, I just want to say thank you. You guys have helped fill in some gaps this off season. We were short. We were down a couple of men, and you guys made that go as well as you possibly could. Um, yeah, and I just appreciate the league as a whole and everything that everybody's done to make this such a great place to be. Um, people have, since we have went from just being a Madden league to being a community, and of course being on Twitter and all the other stuff that we do, people have taken notice, and people do watch us, and I'm just so appreciative. I think we have over 150 YouTube subscribers. I know that's not a massive number, but man, for a bunch of nobodies that just started Madden League 18 years ago, that's a cool thing to me. And we've got tons of Twitter followers, and look, we're working really hard to build up the other leagues that we have here. I will always make a push if you are into creativity and want to work on writing and video editing, and you want to play some wrestling and beat some people up. Come check out our wrestling league. I think you can probably pick up WWE for $28 or whatever now. It's just a fun game, and we just have a blast doing it. We need more people though, and it's funner when you have more people. So I'm always going to make a push for that. FIFA's going to start back here soon. Call of Duty's going really good. Battlefront, old P Dizzle's got Battlefront going. Mads are going good. We're working super hard to get these sliders figured out. We will set to the best set of sliders that we have to test for preseason week 4. Is not a perfect solution, guys. We are trying our very best. We're racking our brains. Maniac and myself and a couple other guys have just been working so stupid hard on these sliders. Look, the game is what the game is, and I've said my piece about it. At the end of the day, I don't do this because the game is just so magnificent that I just couldn't bear to not play it. No, I do this because I get to hang out with you guys, and so I hope that you bear with us and that you'll help us test the sliders for preseason week 4. We'll make adjustments for there. We'll roll into season 76. We'll see how things roll out. Couple linebackers starting to go here, but they're looking like computer picks. So one just went to the Jets. Connor Brady, a 6'1", more of a zone guy that can thump pretty well. Ran a 4.7 140 and did 17 on the bench press. So probably a guy that won't make the team, but you never know. You never know what can be done. The Bucks are telling me we can skip him as we kind of get to the last one here. Smash is another guy. Like we've talked a lot about Colin tonight, as we should have. He's had a really good draft, but I think that we have to talk about Smash and talk about the Bucks and talk about what he's done. I think he's done an outstanding job without a lot to work with. Evidently, he has, gotten with somebody to help him, which is perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with it at all. But clearly, you can see, that he's done his homework. And look, when everyone in the division is strong, it makes for a fun and not fun season, but a fun season because it makes you pick up your game. And I was in the NFC West a couple of seasons ago where every team was just magnificent, and then of course just 2 seasons ago, everybody in the NFC South had a winning record, something that has not happened very many times, if ever. I think it may have been the first time that has ever happened where every team in the division had a winning record. And that was just spectacular. Now, this past year, it kind of fell off a little bit, but excuse me, I think it's going to be right back this season. I think a lot of people have done their homework and have rebuilt their teams pretty quickly.
I was hoping to get the new Mo Deli on the show tonight. He's had quite a few picks.
Yeah, I
was
think
trying
he's
to see
had
if
a
we could get
couple
him.
computer picks here lately because they're looking like computer picks, and he's eating up the entire clock. So I'm pretty sure he definitely isn't drafting. But that would have been fun to have him on. He seems like he was one of the guys, and I still am, that I was super excited about adding here. He plays in a lot of leagues, which is super cool. But I hope that he just jumps head in first with content and produces us some content, because he's just an exciting guy to have around here. Super enthusiastic and great attitude. And I will also say that seems to be the kiss of death for me. Whenever I brag on a guy, he usually abruptly quits the very next night. So don't do that to us, Mo. We're excited to have you here. Yeah, this is what the OMFL is all about. A 3+ hour draft show, pre-draft show. Where are we? Let me see. We're actually only at 2 hours and 20 minutes. This has been a super fast draft. Guys, we're fast. Like this. I mean, this draft is going to end up being like 2.5 hours when it's all said and done. I mean, we did a 20-minute pre-draft show. Man, that might be the fastest draft we've ever had in the OMFL. It was super. Yeah, I mean, you guys should be super, super proud of that. Good job by everybody.
The team that just drafted the Titans picked right tackle Parsons. That's a team that's always intrigued me, man. He's always been on like the borderline, playoff team. He's played in that division that confuses everybody, because it's like when the division's bad, everybody's bad.
Mm-hmm.
When the division's good, everybody's good. And he finally made that push this year, made it to the playoffs. And he didn't get his ultimate goal, win the Super Bowl, but he did get over the hump. He got in the playoffs. And I think he's one to really watch. I think he's building that team the right way. I think he's figured them out. And I'd be really interested I don't think he's online right now, but I'd be really interested to hear his thoughts on his team, because, like I said, he's got them going in the right direction right now.
Hey, look, I'm a big fan of Cly, outside of the fact he quit my golf league, you jerk. But this guy that he just took right here, I don't know if he's online like you said, but this was one of the guys I think could have quick or superstar Devo. I have this guy's 6'7", good impact block, good run block. He was going to be a guy I took. 30 strength, it's going to need a little help, but if he's quick or superstar, man, he might be able to make some plays for them and be a really good player.
He was on my draft board. I chose between him and my other guy I just drafted. Now, he was just a normal development, but he was 82 strength, 82 run block, 77 pass block, and 87 impact block. Hell of a pick in the 6th round.
Yeah. No, I mean, a solid guy that you just stick out there, backup tackle, and know that you're going to be okay. Yeah, I don't think you can complain about that pick at all. It's a really solid pick.
Let's see here. We got Maniac.
Where did Maniac go? You think his wife hit him? You think that's it? His wife might.
But he did. He said he had to get off and get something to eat, and I don't know if he ever.
Oh my God, is he eating at the buffet? I don't understand what he's doing.
We still love you, Maniac.
Yes, we do. But he took Kane. Of course, we skipped this next pick, and the Eagles computer took Marty Hadlock. A lot of defensive ends have went this draft. Cornerback B. Abear. Please be Bobby Abear. That would be so amazing. Ben Abear. Close enough. 5'10". A good man coverage guy. Guy that's really, really going to struggle in zone coverage. He should be fast, though. 4'4", 740. Did 15 on the bench press. Dawson really seems to have went really a lot of speed. Why is Dawson not on here? You guys are best friends. Get him on here. I think he just joined the chat a few seconds ago.
I knew he wasn't on the chat, or he didn't get. I know he got off late. I told him I was going to get his boss for him because he got off so late.
Which shows that he joined here now, so he's in here right now. I don't know if he's paying attention.
I do think he went with a lot of speed this draft. I think when he played the Patriots in the playoffs, and they just that secondary just got torched. I think he's really tried to address that, and I think he really took it to another level. Not that. Since he's still over there, he's just honestly he's with a faster team now than he was before.
Yeah.
Not quite as polished, but faster. I think Dawson's really tried to emphasize building that secondary. And like I said, I know I was actually texting him earlier because I was wondering why he wasn't on the show, why he wasn't listening. He said he was on his way back from work. But I think he's looking I think he's really trying to build a lot of their secondary. He knows at this point you're building project players, or if you get a good player like we just said Cly got, but there's not a whole lot of guys that can jump in day one and step up like him. But I think he's really trying to get that secondary built in because you got some pass happy and very good passers in the AFC right now.
Yeah, we were at pick number 27 in the 6th round. I forgot I actually didn't have any 6th round draft picks, but I think I've got like 2 or 3 in the 7th round, so that should be fun. Yeah, I mean, we're flying through this thing. We'll be finished probably here in the next 15, 20 minutes, depending on how quickly round 7 goes. But I think still a lot of potential sleeper picks that are out there. Again, are you going to get a starter in the 7th round? I mean, I guess the chances are always there that you could do that, but the chances are probably not very likely. Instead, though, you could get a really solid backup and somebody that surprises you. If I remember correctly, I hit the wrong button. The guy that made the Hall of Fame for my team, Smart, was like a 5th or 6th round pick. He just was a late round pick that blossomed and ended up making the Hall of Fame here in the OMFL. Just brutalizing quarterbacks over the NFC West a couple of years there. Yeah, I think you could find a guy like that here. Still, I still think that outside linebacker has a lot of good players. Yeah, I'm not going to go there because I already have like a zillion of them. But then again, you never know. I think there are a couple cornerbacks that are out there that could make a difference. I think that free safety, strong safety has been picked pretty clean. No quarterbacks really to look at. Halfback's been picked pretty clean. There's one guy who kind of had my eye a little bit. I'll mention him because I'm not going to take him, but Antoine Nua is a 5'10" guy. I think that he has some speed and some other potential that he might be a good pick for somebody. Yeah, just kind of looking this over. I see a receiver out there that still has some potential. Not a super fast burner, but a guy that can be big and tall and can still make plays. Tight end's been picked pretty clean. There's still an offensive lineman or two out there. Look, David Wang is one of the favorite names in this draft and a guy that I think could still play for somebody. Darian Williams at left guard, he's another guy that I think could still be potential. So there are a lot of centers. There's some centers out there that I think could come in and could play really well for somebody. So there'll be some good players, I think, in free agency. So you took Schwartz. Talk about Schwartz real quick. Let me see what I had on Schwartz. Kenny Schwartz, more of a run impact blocker, which you and I both like. 6'4", only did 28 on the bench press, so you don't love that, but everything else looked pretty decent. How'd he come out?
Yeah, he came out solid, like I said, especially at this point in the draft. He's 73 overall, 81 strength, 83 run block, 77 pass block, 81 impact block. Man, like I said, he's a solid. Worst case, he's a back. He's a solid backup when offensive linemen can get hurt this bad. I want everybody to know that. And you got to have people. And me and Dawson had the discussion the other day. Is you got to have 2 or 3 guys that are there that you can plug in and not have a big letdown. And somebody like him, he's a perfect practice squad guy for a season that you can put some time in and build him up. Or if some guys don't have the luxury of having depth at the offensive line, he's a good guy you can plug in, and he could start a game or two if you need him to. At this point in the draft, and I'm not bragging on myself. I just couldn't ask for somebody better be left there in the end of the 6th round.
One disclaimer that you never have to get is I'm not bragging on myself. We all know you enough to know that you never brag on yourself. But yeah, I think that's a solid pick. I think you and Dawson said it just right that you better have 2 or 3 guys that can play backup offensive line. Because if you don't, you're going to find yourself in some serious trouble. Tavon just posted. I'm glad that you guys are in here. I wish I were not all on Discord and just joined the Skype and talked in here so I could see everything. A great fullback, 78 overall, 6 foot out of Alabama, 79 impact block, 74 run block, 81 speed, 83 acceleration, 82 strength. That dude can play. That's a really good pick for them.
Solid pick in the, like that, 6th round. We just crossed the 7th round. I don't know. Is 00 drafting tonight? I think he is.
I thought he was, but the last couple of picks, a lot like the Bills and other teams, has been acting as if he is not picking. But you know what? This thing's going to be wrapped up here really soon, so I'm not going to stress out over it. But he took a defensive tackle, and that probably shouldn't have been picked at all. So I'm assuming that he is not picking since the clock is running down, and he's taking best available player at a bad position.
Let's see here.
Really good pick, Tavon. And I just want
Hey,
to brag
Nick.
on yeah.
Hey, if you get a chance, send Mo Deli a link to the Skype. He says he's tried to join a few times. It's not working. I was trying to get a good interview. I'd love to have a new owner going through his first off season and get a good interview with him. That he'd
Yeah.
be available for interview if we could get him
I cannot open Discord because it would just eat up my computer alive.
Okay, let me see.
But I will post this in this chat again. Give me 1 second.
I might be able to. Let's see.
I'm going to
I
post
would,
this in this chat. And if somebody can just copy and paste that. He's got to have Skype. It sounds simple, but he may not have Skype. So it's just something to keep in mind. No, I'd love to have Modeli on also. Yeah,
let's see here.
so the Detroit Lions, I'm assuming he's not picking. He took the best available halfback, the best available defensive tackle. So 2 positions that are pretty pick dry. So is Christopher Mo 2? Or is that Mo 1 who's saying to call him? I don't know. I'm so confused.
Let me see here. See, Mo just posted a thing. I would love when I get 2 computer screens in front of me, so I don't have to click back and forth.
That would be such a lifesaver right now.
There we go. I see he just hit Mo 1 tag Mo 2 to join Skype conversation.
Well,
Thank you,
someone
Mo.
is in Skype called Christopher who put Mo 2. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I'm just confused myself. So the Redskins clock has went down to 0, which tells me he's not picking. And he took wide receiver Mouton. If I had to guess, the best available receiver. Yeah, no, it isn't. Antonio Mouton, 5'8", a guy that has made some spectacular catches in his career. Ran a 4.35 40. Only did 8 on the bench press, so he's probably the weakest player in this draft. Mike Atkins went to the Oakland Raiders right after that, 5'9". Another guy that has really good hands, can catch in traffic. Ran a 4.36 40. We start getting this late in draft. Guys are just going to take the best available person that they can. Christopher, why are you maniac? And where the hell did you go? All right, Mo. So now you're in here. Mo, I think if you hit, Priest, we might need you to mute yourself. It looks like you're not muted and it popped up. But Mo 2, I think you hit the green button at the top that says go to call, and it should call in and let you unmute yourself. I love that Priest is just chilling on this couch. Now he's just chilling. That's so funny. Big man with a little hat. That's what he is. How would you like to see that big old beefy man coming at you on football? Carp diem. I know that means something cool, but I don't know what it means. Yeah, that's a big ass spider on scorpion on your arm. That one's kind of cool. How did this turn into the Priest tattoo show? What the hell am I doing right now? Let me get back to this draft, Priest. Defensive tackle went to the Raiders. Who is he? Farr. Mr. Farr. Where you at? Gilbert Farr, 6'4". A really good tackler, pretty good hitter. Did 29 in the bench press. A solid pick when you start getting this late in the draft. And then right after that, Chaotic took wide receiver Bradley. Let me cover Mr. Bradley, and then we'll bring on Mr. Mo Wayne Bradley, 6'6". Here's the guy that I was really excited about that was left. A nice catcher, can catch everything that is thrown his way. Not a burner, kind of strong. I think a dude that you could play at number 2 and be just fine. So with that said, let's bring on one of our new guys here, Mr. Mo. Welcome to the show, man. How you doing? Am I talking to myself?
You there, Mo?
Oh, it sounded like he joined. Is he muted?
Uh,
Oh, that stinks. It sounded like he was on.
you hear me, Nate?
I can hear you, yeah.
I don't know. It's echoing.
Not echoing on my end. I don't know. Priest, make sure that you're muted. Are you muted? Thumbs up?
Am I muted?
Oh, yeah, you must have been muted. Okay. Yeah,
I'm
go back to
unmuted.
being muted. Oh,
See.
Priest, you gotta love him. Oh, let me shut this down. Why is that still running, Nate? Don't do that. Turn that off. There we go. Save a little energy there. The Cardinals go left guard Proctor. Boy, this draft is slowed to a crawl now. I actually don't have left guard Proctor. This must be one of those undrafted guys that not all of us get to see. And it looks like guys were super excited about Tavon's guy. This Mr. Banks Stokes, what a name. 5'10", a good carrier, decent impact blocker, super fast, ran a 4.940 and did 25 in the bench press. He goes over to Indianapolis. Pretty good pick for them, especially if you need a fullback. I was going to go back, now that we're talking about fullbacks, since we're still waiting on Mo to try to figure out how to come in here and talk with us. Hey, I see Arrow Eagles on. Man, we'd love to have Kevin come and join here too. So there is a difference when you join the chat and then you hit the actual phone button to call. Priest, I don't know if you're around and you got a chance, but if you can maybe help teach these guys how, when they join the chat, how they can actually call in, because you did it pretty successfully. I'd also say, though, to brag on Tavon a little bit, Tavon, totally off subject, but he drafted a hell of a good fullback. Tavon joined the wrestling league with Houday, and then Houday decided to retire. And man, Tavon stuck with it. And he's just got these really great characters, and man, he's learned how to do entrances and do editing, and it's just been fun to watch how somebody who really didn't know a whole lot about anything, but just like bought into what we were doing, really wanted to do it, really was like enjoying it. One day I'm going to talk Dwayne into doing it. I think Dwayne would be just a blast to have in there. But I just want to brag on Tavon and how much I appreciate him doing that and sticking with us even when his partner left, because we probably wouldn't have a league if everybody would have left. And it's something I'm passionate about and that I enjoy. And I appreciate him helping us try to build that up. You also need to text Dawson. Tell him to get his butt in here.
All right.
Defensive tackle Ham Miller went to the Tennessee Titans. Quarterback Stemple went to the Denver Broncos. The Houston Texans took punter. Let me see if I can find him. Gordon Fales, 6 foot, A accuracy, B plus kicking power. Who cares what he ran and what he bench pressed? The bottom line is, can he boot it? And I just don't know. I think that the best punter, Nasib, went early in the draft. But this guy should be just fine enough to punt the ball where you need it. Go ahead and skip this. So defensive tackle Triplett went over to the Denver Broncos. See what I can find on Brandon Triplett. 6'6", so a big boy. B minus tackle. Nice power moves. Did 24 in the bench press, so a little weak. Probably needs to be in a 4-3 system if he's going to be able to make some plays here. And then strong safety. Barner. Where's Mr. Barner? I don't have Mr. Barner, so he must have been one of those undrafted players, which I think is kind of cool. I love the draft setup. The one thing that I would like to see them change is to go back to the old system where they listed out every single attribute and you had to pick where you spent your money. And so you could do one attribute and then move on to a whole nother player, or you could do every attribute and just get a handful of players. I just thought that that was such a great system. I wish they didn't take it away. I'd love to see them bring that system back with the draft boards, um, with the system that we have now. Just give us the scouting of that, because I think you were able to really find more diamonds in the rough that way, in my opinion. Dwayne, are you still with me? I think I lost my partner here. So I am just going to take a quick gander at my draft board here just to figure out what's left, what's here, and because my pick's coming up here pretty soon. Dwayne, is that you?
That's me.
Sweet. I'm going to let you feel a little air here while I check out my draft board real fast.
All right. Where we?
You're
Last
right.
come on fast.
I do hear the echo in your deal now. That's weird.
As I've been trying to go back and forth and reset it.
Yeah, something up with your mic or your system or something.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty soon myself. And nobody wanted to jump on and take an interview.
No, nobody.
I'm trying to get Dawson's trying to, but he keeps saying that he can't get in for some reason.
Kind of acting weird on the app. I had to go online to join back. Like Skype website.
That other Mo guy's in here, but I don't know if he just doesn't know how to do it or what.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Who's this? Is this Mo?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
There we go. We got Mo with us. Hey, man, we're so glad you're here. Yeah, tell us about this. Is your first OMFL draft experience, so tell us what you think. How's your draft went so far?
I'm actually really excited. You know, I was it's a pretty intense draft. I could tell there was a lot of experienced coaches, guys that really knew what they were doing. So I didn't think I was going to do that well sitting at the 19th position. But you know, my goal going in was to really fill up my O line, and luckily this was a really heavy offensive line draft. I think in the late first round, second, third, you could have really, you know, grabbed some strong guys. Pretty surprised that I got Garrett Trusnick, left tackle. You know, my O line, I really want to make sure I got my strength up. You know, I like to run the ball in a power style offense and really get guys that can kind of push back. So landing this guy Garrett, you know, 87 strength, 82 run block, can work in his pass block. But I mean, this guy's a stud. Landing him in the third round, so I'm pretty excited. My first round pick was a slow dev. I think I rescued a couple of people. I think they were all looking at this guy. So I don't know how he lasted this long. I mean, I had him number 1 on my draft board. So, you know, it's 82 speed. His acceleration is 90. I mean, I think he's ready to play. The slow dub hurts, but I think if I focus on this guy, he can be a stud. And he'll be right next to my my sign up of the year, Darian Heron. Outside linebacker that I went ahead and signed
over from Pittsburgh, who I think, and Dwayne could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think was actually a carryover. I think it was a guy that was from Madden 17. Yeah.
Yeah. So I stayed home all day Sunday to make sure this guy.
That's the way to do it. Well, tell us about your team. Like, what were the plans coming into this offseason, free agency, and the draft? And do you feel like you were able to hit the needs that you had?
Yeah, I mean, the Jets definitely had some holes. But being able to play 3 or 4 weeks with this team, um, I'm not sure if I don't think we're ready to win a Super Bowl, but I think we've got enough players to be competitive. Um, I like Sam Bradford at quarterback, and I think I've got a couple of good years with him. I play a really simple offense and focus heavily on defense. So my linebackers were really hurting me the last couple of weeks. They weren't able to react. Just weren't playing a good game. But filling in those linebackers in the draft in the offseason, I think is huge. My front seven's looking really good. My D line, I've got Muhammad Wilkerson, Leonard Williams, who's really my franchise guy, uh, and then Matthew Juden. Um, and then, so I think I can be competitive with these guys. I got to figure out who's going to play running back. My guys have been on the phone with Cincinnati. We're trying to bring over Jeremy Hill.
Hey, here's an idea. Hang up with Cincinnati and call the Packers. They have like 50 billion halfbacks. Just pick any of them.
I'll definitely, I got to check Green Bay. Then I like the power back. That's really.
Oh my God! Just time out. We got to pause so that I can cuss the Tennessee Titans out. You took the one freaking guy that I really wanted left in my 2 picks before me. You son of a biscuit eater. Tell him I want pictures from the Tennessee Titans of this halfback. All right, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's okay. I'm actually trying to figure out who this guy is and why he's not on the draft board.
Yeah, he was one of those undrafted guys that was on my board, but then when I went just to look just now, he wasn't. He's like one of those guys that come and disappear and all that fun stuff. So it's my pick. Tell me more about your team. Like, what are you looking for to be successful in season 76? What's it going to take?
I think the key is going to be playing good defense, keeping our turnovers down, not really forcing any plays. I've got a really good young wide receiver on my team. He was a rookie last season, Durant. I think if, keep it a West Coast style offense with Sam Bradford. Be able to, we'll be able to pull some close victories. It's a tough division with Mr. Brady still playing in the AFC East. But yeah, I mean, good defense, run the ball, no turnovers. I think if we can pull 10 wins, I'll be excited. We're not going to win the Super Bowl, but if we can move the needle and grow from there, I think we'll get somewhere.
Awesome, Mo. Thank you so much for being on. I want to let you off because your pick is coming up here on the very next pick after Chaotic. Don't worry, he'll milk that clock down to 1 second, so you got plenty of time. But thanks for being on our draft show. Can't wait to see what you do in season 76, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
There you have it, our second Mo, another guy, like I said earlier, I'm super excited about. He wasn't on, of course, you didn't hear me bragging about him, but just one of those guys I'm super excited about adding to our community and adding to our league, and I hope that he's here for many more years to come. Just you can never have too many really good people, and that's one of the things that we've been lucky about. Yes, I worked really hard for the league, and all that stuff is true, but the reason we are what we are is because we just have really, really great people in this league. Did the Tennessee Titans post about this halfback? Is he around?
Let me see.
I got to hear about this halfback. He was the one guy. I was like, he's falling.
Nua?
Yes.
92 speed, 91 acceleration, 85 juke, 78 carry, normal. But man, that's a solid pick.
Yeah, in the 7th round. Can't beat that in the 7th round. Palmer. Yeah, a lot of computer picks here. All right, I'm going to let this clock tick. just because it's my pick, and that buys me a little time. So I'm gonna let this clock tick down.
5 picks left.
5 picks left, and it's all over.
Priest, I'll give you props on the video chat. I can't be showing people my headband and crazy hair tonight on my video chat, so I give you
Oh
props.
my God! Listen to this dude. He's like the prettiest boy we have here, probably outside of Ducks. He's gonna talk about he can't let his headband show.
Gotta pull the mohawk back tonight.
That's so funny. All right, I think I know who I want. I don't know if he's there, but I think I know who I want. Again, I think that this draft just overall has been super deep in a couple areas. Oh, I hate when players disappear off your draft board. Son of a biscuit eater. God darn it. All right, plan B. All right, he's still here. All right, let me.
You
Nothing
would talk
like
about
listen.
my fiat bill.
You own. Wait a second. You own a Fiat?
I can't believe we ain't got Bill on here.
Yeah, he's another guy just hiding from us. Like he's a New Yorker, so he's probably just full of piss and vinegar. Which is why he was so good, I guess, at being our scheduling guy.
Drinking that drink.
You hear me?
Is that Bill?
No, that was Priest.
Oh. Are you sure? Because he said, "Can you hear me?"
I don't know. I didn't hear nobody. I just read the comment.
I can hear somebody.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, whoever's saying, "Can you hear me?" I can hear you.
It's Bill.
Oh, what's up, Bill? Mr. Piss and Vinegar himself.
What's up, gentlemen?
How are you, sir? How did you feel about your draft tonight, man? Since you
I was
left us high and dry over here, wiping up our tears in the NFC South.
You scared me out of there, but I don't think I did you any favors with Smash now taking over for the Bucks.
No, you did me no favors. So talk about your draft. How did things play out?
I was happy with the first pick. It was kind of a neat pick, the cornerback position. But I'm happy overall with his attributes. Seems like a solid guy. Can slide into the number 2 spot or compete for the number 2 spot at least. Other than that, it was kind of a reach in the 3rd round. I was looking to go D end, and then I saw that running back there. I didn't have much to go off of because of the switch. There weren't very many guys scouted that I would have hoped for. So I was kind of going basically off of combine attributes for the most part. So
let's talk about that switch. You, of course, were in Tampa Bay here for a couple of seasons. And of course, you originally were your Giants, and then had to take a little break for a little bit. But they came back, and you've been with Tampa Bay. And really had a good thing going there in our division, but then the opportunity to jump ship came, and you decided that was the team to go ahead and do it for. So talk about your new team. What made you want to do the switch, and what do you think is going to take to be successful with this new team?
Well, let me just start out with, I enjoyed playing with you guys, with, Nate, Colin, and of course, Dwayne. We had a lot of good battles. It's definitely a tough division. Of course, I'm biased. I'd probably say it's the toughest division in
No, I agree.
But yeah, there was a couple of teams that opened up, and I was like, nah, maybe I'll make the jump, but I couldn't. I liked what I had got going with the Buccaneers. I thought they were, doing pretty well in terms of building them up. And but when the Vikings opened up, they had a solid defense, good young running back, couple of good young wide receivers. So I figured I'd take a shot, and get to play against Outlaw a couple times a year. Mike up in Green Bay, I've played him in the past, and we've always had some good games. So I think it's a fun opportunity. I'm looking forward to playing these guys year in and year out, and hopefully I could build something in Minnesota before we're done with this cycle.
There you have it. You heard it straight from Bill. Bill, we're so glad that you're back. The first official OMFL Hall of Famer to be out of retirement and playing back with us.
That's right.
He's the first one to ever do that. So, Bill, you're a legendary, and we're glad that you're here. And guess what, fellas? We've wrapped this thing up, man. We are done with the OMFL Draft for season 76. And I got to say, it was one of the best ones that we've ever had. I've really enjoyed tonight. It's been really great. Guys were just fast and furious and had done their homework. The draft was deep. It kept people plugged in, I think, super late. We've had a great call-ins here. I wish that we had more. Kevin with the Dolphins, I want to hear more from you next time we have a draft. Dawson, you got to get that figured out. And the door is always open for all of you to come join us on Press Pass Live. We'll knock one of those out. Probably like Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. I'm off for a couple of weeks for work, and so we'll find what works with Dwayne's schedule, and we'll do a little off-season recap and early season recap of season 76. But man, I'm just excited. Dwayne, closing thoughts as we put a bow on season 76 draft.
Man, this draft just flew by. I think we had a 4-hour draft last, man, if I'm not mistaken. And to just finish this in 2.5 hours, that's crazy.
It's super fast.
And it has been real nice having these guys call in, hearing people's their thoughts, and it was real nice to get to meet Bill for the first time. My mob boss. So
the Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Hall of Famer. It's been a great draft, and I think a lot of guys are really excited to kick this season off.
And we have 19 participants on, man, and the draft is over. So, look, it's just been a ton of fun. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the show. We'll get it compressed and upload it for the people who couldn't be here. They can go back and watch it. But, yeah, we'll do a Press Pass Live here soon. So here's the plan before you guys log off. Let me just give you a quick update. I'm going to advance us here into week 1 soon, very soon, like the second I turn this podcast over. And then we'll give you about 10 minutes to do your pre-week training and all that fun stuff. And then we'll get you 10 minutes for weeks 1, 10 minutes for weeks 2, 10 minutes for weeks 3. We'll stop in week 4. Injuries will be off. Give me a few minutes to set the sliders before you hop in and start playing. Maniac, if you're still listening and still on, get me what you think we should start testing out for week 4 of the preseason. And then you need to get your team to 53. You need to set your practice squad. You need to make your cuts. And then if you want to put in bids, you need to go ahead and follow Maniac's blind bid system. Get those put in. And then be patient with us, guys. We get flooded with several hundred bids all at once. And there's one of me. And there used to be a team of people that did that, and now there's just one. And so we need be patient with us. We'll start probably closing bids probably first thing tomorrow. Probably 10, 11 o'clock tomorrow, and then every hour on the hour we'll close 10 or 15 at a time because there's so many to get through. And the plan is to close all bids by 9 p.m. Central tomorrow. And at 9 p.m. Central tomorrow, we will advance to week 1. Everybody needs to be set. After you get set to 53, you need to go check in on the thread that we have up. Just post that your team is ready and that you're at 53. That way we can get it started early if everybody checks in and get you off to week 1. Week 1 will run, I don't even know what today is. Today's Wednesday. So week 1 will run Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And if you play the Saints, I got to let you know right now, I either have to play Friday morning or late Sunday night. So week 1, you might have to wait on me just because I'm going out of town to do Christmas with family. I leave Friday afternoon, but I come back Sunday afternoon. So there you have it. For Dwayne, for all the people that called in, for all the leadership here in the OMFL, I just appreciate all of you guys so much. Thanks for listening to this old Cajun ramble for a couple hours about the draft. It's been a ton of fun. I can't wait to see what happens in season 76. I'm excited about all the tests that we've done with sliders. I don't know that we're any closer, But, man, we sure know a whole lot more about this game, that's for sure. Thanks for Maniac for putting all that work in. Dawson, thanks for being on with me. And Dawson, listen to me, D. Wayne, for being on with me and just being my partner in crime. One of the nicest guys that you will ever meet in your entire life. If you don't take time to get to know D. Wayne personally, you're doing yourself a disservice. He will be, he's way younger than me, so he will be the future commish of this place whenever I decide I am too old for this stuff and I walk away. He's just an amazing dude, and I appreciate him so much. So thank you guys. Look forward to you in season 76, and let's see what takes place. Have a great one. Deuces.
Later, guys.